Chapter 26. An excited smile immediately appeared on Hwa's face. You understand me so well, that's exactly what I meant. The words fell. The battle between the two begins. Everyone in Teyvat continent knows that Kevin is very powerful, far more powerful than the gods. But they never thought about how powerful he was. Paimon, the sky split open. The flames of the great sword actually burned through the sky. Wendy, is this really Hwa? She can actually defend this blow? If this punch falls on the Teyvat continent, the whole of Liyue will sink to the bottom of the sea, right? Zhongli, it's really scary. If Kevin's blow hits Mondstadt, the whole of Mondstadt will be turned into a sea of embers and silence. Wendy, it's time to run away. Zhongli, what's wrong, drunkard? Wendy, Hwa's move, even if the emperor is alive, is completely unable to resist it. I'm afraid he will be beaten into a worm. Zhongli, is this Kevin? His strength is so powerful. Even the wind god Barbatos can only be frightened to kneel down and beg for mercy under such power. The two kept making examples of each other in the chat area. But even if he is a believer in the god of wind and god of rock, after seeing such a devastating battle, no one dared to brag about their own gods. The gap in strength is too big. After the two argued like this. Zhongli, drunkard, have you seen it? Wendy, did you notice it too? Paimon, hey. What did you find? Zhongli, Kevin didn't use all his strength. Wendy, yes, they are just discussing. Paimon, Ying, if the wind god Barbatos and the rock king emperor work together, can they defeat them? Zhongli, it's difficult. Wendy, compared with this, I am more curious about why Hwa appeared again? Wasn't she already taken away by Kevin before? Zhongli, let's continue reading. I think he already has the answer. On the screen in heaven. So be it. Kevin suddenly spoke. The entire battle also came to an end. Hwa also stopped. Aren't you going to fight? Kevin put away his sword, yet. Hwa asked proudly, how about that, isn't that move sword transformation, Cloud Eagle powerful? You must have never thought that I can dissolve the flames of the sky fire like this. Sword. Oh, it's Hwajin from our fighting skills back then. I changed their names. Just do as the Romans do. Hwa said inside, oh, there are many opportunities, but it's a pity that the opponent is you. If you want to seize the opportunity, you can't do it too difficult. Kevin asked coldly, you still want to fight? Hwa quickly waved his hand, no, I'm not a martial artist, that's fine. She looked at Kevin and asked seriously, now do you believe that I am who I am? Kevin didn't answer. But it was silent. After a moment of silence, he raised his right hand to his heart, and then looked toward the distant sky. But there's nothing over there. Hwa looked at him with a puzzled face, not understanding the meaning of his actions at all. Then I heard Kevin say again, yes, you are right here. He stretched out his hand, and there was a piece of feather floating in his palm. It was one of Yu Duchan's thousands of clones. I'll give it back to you, Hwa. Following his voice, the feather slowly floated towards Hwa, and she grabbed it. He said happily, ha, I didn't say I came here for it yet, you guessed it quite accurately. Thank you. Hwa waved and prepared to leave. Where are you going? Hwa stopped walking, I don't know, I haven't thought about it. I'm not in a hurry. Let's talk about it after I sort out my own affairs. There are favors to repay, revenge to avenge, a bunch of partners to take care of, and collapse, etc. Let me deal with it. No rush, no rush. There is only so much time to rest. Maybe there will be a chance to fight side by side in the future, old friend. This statement amused Kevin. Even his calm mood had some waves. This kind of wave seems to be an emotion called smile that has been forgotten for 50,000 years. He took the opportunity and asked, are you going to join World Serpent, ha? Several people in Tit continent looked astonished. Nazada, what does he want to do? What does Kevin want to do? Send invitations to China again? There are 3 of them now, right? Keking, is World Snake so short of people? Did he invite the other members like this? Arataki ito, ahahaha, this is very similar to my method of recruiting people. Kuki Shinobi, shut up. This is not a place for nonsense. Zhongli, it's really strange, why did he invite me suddenly? Nisida, is it just that she is in need of someone, or maybe she wants to keep a woman by her side? Funina, probably not. I always feel that he has some deep meaning. Nisida, let's wait and see if it's exposed, although I don't think so in the screen. Hua refused with disgust, that's your respectable Siebuman. Alas, I don't even know when you came back, that guy Otto. She made a shooting gesture to her temple. Bang. I won't know anything from now on. Kevin thought about it. Giving her advice, you can ask me about the feathers I gave you and she will tell you. Oh. Hua suddenly became interested. She cared about the lost memory, which was one of the reasons why she came to find Kevin. Okay, I will. As for joining you, forget it. I don't want to be your subordinate, so why not start an organization of my own? Oh no, I think there used to be a Daozhu sect or something. Does it still exist now? I can't figure it out. I have to recall it carefully. Kevin waited quietly for her to finish speaking, then said, that's fine, I have a few people here who don't really want to see you. Hey, Hua chuckled, waved his hand gracefully, turned and walked away, don't die before destroying Honkai, old friend. Speaking of this, she suddenly stopped, by the way, let me remind you, the person who asked me to come to you is Otto Apocalypse. I heard that you have reached an alliance with him? Let me tell you, he didn't say a word, don't believe it, this guy is calling you a brother today, and he turned against you and asked me to harm you, which shows that he is not a good person. Finish this sentence. She flew towards the sky and disappeared from Kevin's sight. Da-da-da. Subtle and complicated footsteps sounded from not far away. It was Jackal and others. Lord, you just let her leave like this? She is not Master Hua, but... Jackal wants to tell Kevin the truth about what she sensed. Chapter 27. I know. Before Jackal could finish speaking, Kevin interrupted. Jackal was even more puzzled. Why did he still want to hand over the real Master Hua's consciousness, Yu Duchen, to her even though he knew that Hua was the hairsker? She didn't understand, but she didn't dare to ask more. The Lord's absolutes are absolutely infallible. Kevin looked at the direction in which Hua was leaving and said, let Yuto go to Daozhu mountain to deal with the hairsker of knowledge matter. The entire continent of Teyvat was in an uproar. Nazida, the lawyer? The Hua just now was actually the lawyer. From the time it was exposed to the present, no one in the entire Teyvat continent knew the horror of the hairsker. They never expected that this Hua turned out to be the hairsker. This made everyone feel the mystery and terribility of the hairsker again. Wendy, sure enough. I just said how come there are two Hua? Funina, that's strange. What is Kevin's purpose? Zhongli, I don't think he is someone who would put his comrades in danger. Wendy, then what is his purpose? The words just fell. The scene in the sky shifted from Kevin to the hairsker of knowledge who had just left. It seems that, the exposure system wants to inform everyone in Teyvat about Kevin's purpose of doing this. In the screen. Huabian left leisurely. While talking to himself, Otto wants to hurt both Kevin and me so that he can reap the benefits. How could I be fooled by such a little trick? Look, I took the feather back without any effort. She took out the Yu Duchen returned by Kevin and threw it in the air in a showy manner. A conscious reminder, be careful, it might explode. Hua waved his hand, what's going on? It's impossible. You saw the competition just now. Can Kevin know Yu Duchen as well as I do, but... She looked at the floating feathers and felt something was wrong. She tried to wake the feather, but nothing happened. I don't believe it. She raised her hand, allowing Honkai to flow into the feathers. Break. Kaka. The seal on the surface of the feather broke, and Yu Duchen woke up. Hua looked at the figure in the feather, and saw that her figure was pale and her eyes were closed, indicating that her energy was almost exhausted. Why does this guy Kevin use you like this? While she complained, she reached out and grabbed Phantom's right wrist. Yu Duchen was shocked for a moment, as if he was frightened, but he soon calmed down and had no strength to resist at all. Don't move. I'll give you some energy first. It's hard for you to even show up. If you continue like this, you will turn into ashes and disappear into thin air. No wonder Kevin wants to lock you up. As she inputs Honkai energy into Yu Duchen, the figure in front of him slowly became clearer, and he slowly opened his eyes. Okay. Hua let go of Phantom, clapped his hands, and opened his arms, come back. She originally thought that Yu Duchen would obey her words and integrate into her body. But after waiting for a while, this Yu Duchen still didn't move. Instead, he asked, "Who are you?" "I am your master," Hua said helplessly. "Well, it seems that the memory is almost exhausted. After all, you are also my clone. It's really uncomfortable to see you like this." These words made Yu Duchen immediately confused. "I am your clone." Hua nodded. "Well, you are a piece of Yu Duchen's feather. You are an individual that I copied after copying my own personality and thoughts. I don't know why you fell into Kevin's hands, don't ask me, I was dead at that time. Yes, I took you back from him. Do you understand? Come back if you understand. Give me your power and memory. I just want to know what happened after death." Unexpected. Yu Duchen was indifferent. Her eyes fell on Hua's face, and her eyes seemed to have deep meaning. Then he sighed, "I see, you were at that time. Otto. He really loved doing unnecessary things." Hua frowned and said, "What are you talking about?" "The moment he was killed." Yu Duchen hesitated for a moment and decided to tell the truth. "At that moment, I activated Yu Duchen's zero-rated power, transferred my consciousness to a feather, and suppressed the existence of the hairsker of space. That body was left behind, there was no soul in it." Hua's tone turned cold. "What do you want to say?" Yu Duchen stared at her. "Since I'm here, who are you?" Hua sighed deeply. His eyes were filled with helplessness. "Grab Yu Duchen, fly to the sky, choose the most beautiful cloud, and stand on the cloud," he said earnestly. When you fell into Kevin's hands, your hair was almost bald, and your memory must have been damaged a lot. Or maybe something key was broken. So you have random thoughts and feel that you are more than just a feather, you feel that you are the real person. This is understandable. Consciousness transfer and memory copying are always prone to mistakes in self-perception. Otto and I have both encountered this kind of thing. It is normal and will be fine." Hua smiled reassuringly at Yu Duchen's phantom. "It doesn't matter, I will help you. After all, you are also my clone. Just like sisters, we can't tell each other apart. When you think about it clearly, it's not too late to give your power back to me." "Hey, forget it, don't give it back, I'm not a stingy person. I've given out so many feathers. I even stuffed one into Otto. Do I still care about you? Come with me. We just have a companion. It's too boring to be alone." Yu Duchen asked, "Where are you going?" Hua pondered for a long time, recalled the conversation with Kevin just now, and suddenly smiled, "Go back to Teyvat Mountain. Just leave as soon as you say." She took Yu Duchen's phantom and flew all the way towards Teyvat Mountain. Time flies. She finally couldn't hold it in any longer. "Hey, are you okay? You haven't spoken much all day. If you feel uncomfortable, just absorb the Honkai energy from me. I managed to save you, and I don't want to see you disappear." Yu Duchen's phantom suddenly stopped. She has always wondered why Kevin would give himself to her. When I heard this, I thought, could it be that Kevin wanted him to absorb her power and recover? No. Wrong. That Kevin would never think of such a thing. Yu Duchen phantom thought about it but also refused directly, "No need." Hualeng snorted, "Okay. It's up to you, only." This scene, in the eyes of everyone in Teyvat, was completely different. Funina, as expected. Kevin's intention is to restore the real Fu Hua with the power of the hairsker of knowledge. Wendy, it seems that this is indeed the case. As early as the battle, he should have realized that this was the hairsker of knowledge, so he was willing to hand over the Fu Hua to her. Zhongli, alas, it's just that Fu Hua seems unable to understand Kevin's intentions. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, yes, this is just a stone. Zhongli, stones also understand human nature, and stones also have hearts. Yeshenzi, so, all of this is also within Kevin's calculation. Zhongli, yes, in order to prevent accidents, he even sent Yetu to Teyvat Mountain as a backup. Chapter 28. Funina, but, the problem is not here at all. The crux of the problem is, why doesn't Fu Hua believe in Kevin? Nasada, is it normal to not believe in Kevin? He is so crazy and has never done any good deeds. Zhongli, generally speaking, this misunderstanding must be something that happened in the past. Wendy, look, the picture has changed really. Everyone immediately looked to the sky. The screen shows, when Fu Hua and the Hairsker of Knowledge went to Taegsu Mountain together. Then we returned to World Snake's base. Yutu has already gone to Taegsu Mountain under Kevin's order. And because the communication was suddenly interrupted, Mei and Raven, who judged that there was an accident at the base, quickly rushed back to the base. After learning the general story from Jackal, Mei took the initiative to find Kevin. It was still a dark hall. Mei looked at the man on the throne. I read World Serpent's search results for the Plague Gem. Every word was missed. Kevin said nothing. He originally thought that the girl would ask about Coral Island, or about Fu Hua. But I didn't expect that this was what she asked. Mei continued, but the conclusions shown above are all fruitless. That's right. Just 2 words. It means that the facts are the same as what Mei saw. Mei Yi's mood fluctuated obviously, this is impossible. Even if it falls into the imaginary space, the Hairsker's core will definitely leave traces and will never disappear out of thin air. She won't either. The Plague Gem is part of Sirin, and I can't let it fall into the hands of others. Kevin saw through Mei Yi's true thoughts at a glance. You should know the answer. No. She covered her forehead and refused to accept the result. Maybe I missed something, and you still. Don't wait for her to finish. Kevin interrupted directly and concluded without emotion, she is dead. What? Mei's eyes widened, her lips turned white, and her body couldn't stop trembling. Kevin mercilessly misunderstood her lie, I know you are not looking for gems. Mei's breathing became rapid. She couldn't survive in imaginary space. The world snake didn't find anything either. Mei remained silent, trying to find a flaw in Kevin's words, but Kevin's cold tone gave his statement an iron weight. This is a fact. Kevin's last words were unacceptable to Mei Yi. I cannot accept such a result. I will investigate it myself. At least I have the right. Mei lost control of her emotions and left the corridor, leaving these words behind. Kevin looked at her back. He knew very well that this stubborn girl would use all her methods to investigate, but what she would get in the end would only be a more ruthless and silencing answer. He slowly closed his eyes. Something similar seemed to have happened before. A scene from the past appeared before me again. In the base of Fire Chaser Moth. In the long corridor, 2 figures walked side by side. It was him and Fu Hua. Kevin was the first to speak. You performed very well in the battle with the 11 Hairskers. Thanks. Hua answered calmly. Kevin continued, Mei plans to transfer you to the Far East, do you know? Hua replied, I don't know. I don't care. Kevin explained, this is helpless. The interval between Hairsker's birth is getting shorter and shorter, and our soldiers are seriously insufficient. For strategic reasons, we will be split up and transferred to different cities. The fusion warrior unit will be disbanded. This is the doctor's decision. Hua, I hope you understand. Hua's tone was still cold, I will obey. Magnificent. It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't matter here, in the Far East, or in the Salt Lake. We are all fighting against Honkai, and Honkai will always come. With us in those 3 cities, there may not be so many casualties, and there may not be the need to sacrifice so many ordinary soldiers. Kevin sighed in his heart, you are still brooding about it. Yes. Hua answered without hesitation. Facing the silent Kevin. She continued, you always expect me to understand Dr. Mei. What's the point? Whether I understand or not is irrelevant to the overall situation. Will Dr. Mei change her plan because I don't understand? Will she? No, just like I don't understand why I want to attack the captain. Did Dr. Mei let her go? No. She is my benefactor, your comrade. At that time, she could still recognize me. She smiled and talked to me, and her tone and voice were hers. Would the Hairsker be like that? But you still killed her. You killed her with your own hands. Kevin also made waves in his heart, that scene, he couldn't forget it. She has become the Hairsker of Fire, Hua, you know it in your heart. I have no choice. It's the doctor's order, I know it. So I obey, but I don't understand it. At least this right belongs to me. Fu Hua looked at Kevin and said seriously, Kevin, don't tie the doctor to you. You don't need to ask for my understanding on her behalf, and she doesn't need it either. Rather than me, she should ask those warriors who died on the transformation table, the warriors who were distorted by the superchanging factors, the warriors who died holding the key of the 10th god. I don't understand her. The two of them continued walking, speechless for a while. Kevin didn't know what to say, and she felt she had said too much. I'll stay at Central. Kevin said again. Certainly. There were only 2 words in response to him. Hwa, I'm not doing this for her. I ask for your understanding, because you are my comrade in arms, and we should have a common will. Honkai's offensive is becoming more and more fierce, and we fusion warriors are destined to keep fighting. Failure is a result we cannot bear. There is only victory, and we must win. Hwa, I hope you understand me, truly understand us. The fate of all mankind rests on your shoulders. The two came to a fork in the road. Kevin nodded to Hwa, I want to find Ying, so I have to take this road. Goodbye. The memory of the scene disappears. Everyone in Teyvat was speechless. This silence did not last long. Nazada, sure enough. No wonder Fu Hwa doesn't understand Kevin. It turns out that this kind of thing happened to them before. He killed Fu Hwa's captain with his own hands. It's so cold-blooded and ruthless. Shen He, I can understand Fu Hwa. If someone killed my master with her own hands, I would not trust her. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, no one can kill me. Gan Yu, what happened to the previous civilization? Why was it so tragic? Do you have to kill someone who becomes a hairsker? Nisida, could it be that Kevin killed too many hairskers because of the previous civilization, and now he meets the hairskers and lets him join the world serpent? Wendy, it's very possible. Paimon, it's really not Fu Hwa's fault. I've encountered something like this before, and now I wouldn't think that Kevin's purpose is to use the hairsker of knowledge to help her recover, right? Chapter 29. Ying, I really misjudged Kevin. He actually killed his own comrades. He was too cold-blooded. Nazada, that's right. It can be seen from his tone that he doesn't care about that matter. Paimon, I'm so angry. Fu Hwa is obviously so good, why would Kevin treat her like this? Kamizato Ayaka, yet I thought Kevin was a good person not long ago. Wendy, it's really too much to kill your best friend and still make people understand you. As the mood comes up, more and more people in the chat area began to denounce Kevin. Even, some people started to blame Lin Hao and questioned whether Lin Hao would do the same thing. Ye Kamiko saw the contents of the chat area. Ask Lin Hao, don't you have anything to say? Lin Hao replied, they have the right to discuss freely, but they don't understand what Honkai is. What's the meaning? Ye Shenzi came closer to him and wanted him to explain it carefully. The picture in the sky changed again, instantly attracting everyone's attention, because it was the woman who appeared in it. It's still Kevin's memory. That's, in the corridor inside the base. Alicia is teasing the lovely Gradius. No, you want to call me Sister Alicia. Why? Gracie looked at her doubtfully. Alicia said with a sweet smile, because, if everyone hears you calling me that, they will be shocked. Everyone will think, why? Did you see something they can't see? Woolen cloth. He, the expressions on everyone's faces at that time must be very interesting. Graciu nodded obediently, then, I understand, Sister Alicia. Alicia added, also, remember to call me Grandma Mebius. Grandma, won't Aunt Mebius be angry? Graciu's big eyes blinked, always feeling that this title was not good. Alicia continued to lie, oh, Gradio doesn't understand yet. Compared to Grandma, the title Aunt makes girls more sad, right? But it doesn't matter, one day, you will understand, and then I will. It's too late to change your tune. The simple Gradius believed it immediately, yeah, okay. I always feel that Aunt Mebius is so pitiful. She has been busy until late recently and can't even eat. Alicia said, maybe there is some urgent project, so I can't rest. How did you know? Graciu replied, Mom wants to go to Daddy and can't stay in the laboratory anymore, so she plans to introduce a new assistant to Aunt Mebius. When I heard them talking about work handover, they seemed to be talking about transformation? Surgery. Oh. Alicia deliberately prolonged her voice and looked at Kevin, who was walking by from the corner of her eye. Hey, look who's back. Bang. Kevin walked over and closed the door. Graciu whispered, Uncle Kevin didn't seem to hear, and he looked very bad. Alicia rubbed Graciu's head and said, well, after all, we just defeated the 7th hairsker of fire, he may not have recovered yet. Dr. May persuaded him to see a psychiatrist, and that's probably where he came back from. I'll go talk to him. Gratitude will be alone for a while, okay? After placing Gracie in place, Alicia came to the room where Kevin was. As soon as I entered, I felt the temperature drop suddenly. Ah, it's so cold. Kevin always knew she was nearby and heard her conversation with Gradio, but he was not in the mood. You are going to take the cold-faced handsome guy route. No wonder you have to ignore me. I thought I was disliked by you. It's so sad. Feel sorry. Kevin apologized in a low voice. Alicia approached him step by step and came to his side. I heard about it, Fusion Warrior Project. It's too much, and you didn't say a word to me. Kevin was silent. In order to defeat the Hairsker of Fire, he accepted the Fusion Warrior plan and fused the DNA of the Imperial-level Honkai beast Pafanti that can control ice and snow. He has the power to control ice and snow, but his body has also suffered irreparable damage. The body temperature is -30 degrees all year round. Anyone who stands next to him will get frostbite, and he will never be able to hug May again. Alicia moved closer to him again. There is such a good thing, but you don't share it with me? Are you trying to surpass me quietly, fighting openly and secretly? Kevin, you are very cunning now. Kevin's voice was extremely low. Thank you for comforting me. But, I want to be alone for a while. Oh, Alicia responded softly. I'm sorry. Kevin didn't want her to feel disappointed. Alicia said, you have already said I'm sorry twice, this sentence is not suitable for you. May said the same thing. But as long as I close my eyes, I will see Himihu. She is standing there, smiling and reaching out to me. We seem to be back at the dance that night. You are there, and May is too. Do you know? When I swung that sword, she had the same expression on her face, just like the sixth Hairsker. Look at Kevin like this. Alicia was silent. The sixth Hairsker is also a lingering shadow in Kevin's heart. She knows it well. Kevin noticed Alicia's expression and said quickly, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have mentioned this. Alicia shook her head gently, it doesn't matter, I'm actually quite happy. After all, you have me in your dreams every night. Maybe, you really need to be alone for a while. I'd better stop disturbing you. She turned around and was about to leave. Kevin stopped her, Alicia. I'm afraid of that dream, but I'm even more afraid of waking up from the dream. Alicia comforted, don't worry, Kevin. You just haven't met a good doctor. Memories fade away. Kevin leaned back on the throne. His eyes couldn't help but look towards the entrance of the corridor leading deep behind him. Teyvat continent. Everyone was silent. This time there was complete silence. Just now, everyone was condemning Kevin and scolding him for his ruthlessness. Result. Exposure system. Bah. As a result, Kevin immediately recalled this scene. Even Nazada, who had been complaining about him, did not speak in the chat area, but opened her mouth and said, Kevin, why are you here reminiscing all day long? If you want to reminisce, can you do it all at once? She really couldn't understand it. It was just a plague gem in a similar sentence. Why did this man have so many memories? Be crazy. Are you trapped in your inner world and unable to extricate yourself? This is not the key. The key is to remember as much as you remember, and remember it all at once next time. The whole speech she just made in the chat area was just like a clown. As long as she sees the content she posted in the chat area, she feels like she deserves to die. Chapter 30. Nazada kept clicking on the message she had just sent. I want to see if I can withdraw it. But it's a pity. The chat area of this exposure system has no withdrawal function at all. What made her even more annoyed was that Wendy and others, who had been chatty before, were now all silent. As a result, no new messages came out in the entire chat area. In fact, the reason is very simple. Everyone's mood at this time was similar to hers. The wind rises from the ground. Wendy sat on the big tree and couldn't help but give herself a big-eared melon seed. Damn it! Why are you talking so much? I should have thought of it earlier. Kevin must have an unusual past. It's just. I didn't expect that a person as powerful and indifferent as him would have such a past. It was a mistake, a mistake. This is a big shame. Wendy looked at the comment section anxiously. Totally embarrassed to leave any comments. Quietly waiting for criticism from Zhongli. But Zhongli didn't send any message at this moment, This was obviously a deliberate attempt to torture him. At this time, Liu Zhongli was sitting at the tea table, tasting the tea. He sighed, it's really surprising. Even Kevin once felt so weak and uncomfortable. Tian Taishui grinned and said, my guest, it is precisely because of this that Kevin is a real hero. You see, he buried the pain in his heart and dispelled the shadows in his heart, so that he could finally say those words to Fu Hua. Words. Zhongli put down his teacup. Savored Tian Taishui's words carefully. Then he asked, in your opinion, this Kevin is not a villain? Tian Taishui replied conclusively, definitely not the other side. Paimon was extremely annoyed. She didn't even finish her sweet flour stuffed chicken. Now I am completely in no mood to eat anymore. What should I do? I completely misunderstood Kevin, and I said such outrageous things. Ying touched her head and said, it's okay. This is just a past life exposure. It's all in the past. Lin Hao won't blame you, otherwise you should be frozen into ice cubes and thrown into the sea by now. Wow. No. It's so embarrassing. I shouldn't have said such nonsense. Wrong. You can't blame me. This exposure system misled me. It's all Kevin's fault. Why does he love to reminisce so much? He's so crazy. That's right, he is crazy. Ying nodded in agreement. Indeed, how can normal people recall the past so easily? Think about it. She decided to post the news in the chat area. The tranquility of the chat area was also completely broken. Nazada, that's right, that's right. How can a normal person keep recalling the past? Paimon, who keeps thinking about the past? Only people who have no future, or people who don't feel any good about the present. Nazada, there is another kind of devilish person. Wendy, then why is Kevin so crazy? Nazada. Paimon. Shenhe, who is that girl with pink hair? Ganyu, Alicia? It seems she has appeared before. Shenhe, I am a little concerned about her relationship with Kevin. I always feel that she is very special to Kevin. Ganyu, well, I also noticed that Kevin doesn't want to make her feel disappointed, sad or worried. Kamizato Ayaka, so, Lord Yigomiya also has pink hair, and Lord Lin Hao appears in Teyvat as Inajima. Paimon, et. Ying, no way. There is such a secret in this. Nisida, but. I don't know why, I feel like this Alicia doesn't look like a good person. Her words are too, I don't know how to describe it. Paimon, I understand. I understand. I feel the same way. Wendy, compared with these, I want to know whether Fu Hua understands Kevin's intention. Zhongli, no need to speculate too much, just keep reading. Exposure will give you the answer. Hear the words. Everyone looked at the exposed scene in the sky again. The scene also went from the dim hall to the clouds in the sky. The debate between Fu Hua and the Hairsker of Knowledge continues. I don't understand. What? Fu Hua looked confused. Hua said, why are you so hostile to me? I am you and you are me. We are one heart and two bodies. You should understand me better. Fu Hua hesitated. Hua immediately said, remind you, don't say that you are the real Fu Hua, I am in a bad mood. Fu Hua said calmly, maybe you didn't realize that, your situation is not normal. Snort. Hua snorted contemptuously, say it. I'm listening. Fu Hua continued, are you really Fu Hua? From what I have seen, you are not similar to her. It can even be said that you are, completely different. Maybe you have her memory, maybe you wake up in her body, but you are a brand new existence. Hua sneered and said, ha, what are you talking about? I have her body, I have her memory, and I am not her, who else could I be? I think it's strange that you guessed it right. It's obviously just a feather, but you act like you're the real owner. Do you think I haven't noticed? You always look at me like an elder looks at a child. No need, just worry about yourself. But you're right about one thing. I don't need to be bound by who I was before. I am a new me now. Why should I learn from who I used to be? I can just be myself. I think it can be defined this way, you are who I was in the past. Fu Hua. She was rendered speechless by the thoughts of the Hairsker of Knowledge. And Hua, Hairsker of Knowledge, continued to say, was I good in the past? Not necessarily. To prove this, she waved her hand forward. The clouds parted, and a familiar figure appeared inside. My old friend, Kevin. He was a poor man bound by the past. From the moment May died, time stood still for this man. You look quite similar to him. Is it worth it? Just for Dr. May, she is already dead. Fu Hua looked at Kevin's figure. Limited memories flashed through one by one, even though I had been angry with him. But one thing she was sure of. Kevin is fighting for humanity, and his consciousness is not that simple. Chapter 31. Hua waved his hand. Kevin's appearance immediately disappeared. Even she, under the influence of memory, was unwilling to mention Kevin's pain points in the past. Even when he mentioned this matter, there was an imperceptible sadness in his tone. Otherwise, she will definitely have to argue with Fu Hua. But then I thought that if I didn't say anything, wouldn't I just lose to her? He immediately said, for mankind, everyone keeps saying it is for mankind. She waved her hand again. Otto's figure appeared in front of him. For example, does he also talk about human beings all day long? But there is only one dead woman in his mind, and nothing else is left. I was shocked to learn that he and Kevin were in alliance, but when I think about it, the two of them really make a good match. Never mind. Mentioning this man also made her irritated. Don't mention him anymore, he saved our lives after all. But this incident surprised Fu Hua. Kevin and Otto alliance? What's the point? With Kevin's character, he will do whatever it takes to defeat Honkai. And Otto is also unscrupulous for his own selfish desires. How did they successfully form an alliance? Fu Hua looked deeply at the place where Otto's phantom disappeared. He always felt that things were not that simple, but he couldn't figure it out. At the same time, Teyvat continent. Kecking, these two are so miserable. The women they like are all dead. Nisida, this shows that the death of a loved one is a necessary condition for becoming a villain. Kamizato Ayaka, yes, I am also very concerned about what Risura said. She said that time stopped at the moment May died in the previous life of the god. What does that mean? Nazida, who knows, he has always been quite crazy. Wendy, it seems, we misunderstood before. Kevin doesn't like Mei Yi. He has other purposes for letting her join the world snake. Zhongli, generally speaking, no one likes to look at someone who can remind them of their memories every day. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, is this the reason why you don't want to see me? Gan Yu, true lord. Zhongli, compared to this, I want to know whether Fu Hua understands Kevin's intentions. Wendy, it's hard to understand the stone like Fu Hua. Zhongli, the stones are also new, unlike the wind, which is careless and blows everywhere. Wendy, it's time to run away. Zhongli, is something wrong? Drunkard. Rice wife. In the pure land of one mind. When Lei Qianqing watched the plot, his confusion became even deeper. Before, she also thought that Kevin invited Mei to join World Snake because she looked like Mei. But as more revelations came out, Kevin invited the Hairsker of Knowledge. As the Hairsker of Knowledge revealed the secrets of the past, the time to reveal Kevin had already stopped at the moment of Mei's death. This made her very concerned. What did Kevin think of Mei? Besides, how does Lin Hao view himself? Did he really want to see himself when he came to Teyvat? He was watching under the sacred cherry tree, was he waiting for himself? Can't figure it out. She can only continue to wait for subsequent exposure. In the sky, Fu Hua argued with the Hairsker of Knowledge and came to Taegzu Mountain. Hua stretched out his hand and took out the feathers that emitted a faint light. It's too many. Did I leave so many feathers on the mountain? Fu Hua on the side did not speak. She just walked along the mountain road and the edge of the cliff, sometimes lowering her head in thought, sometimes raising her head to look into the distance. Hua injects some Honkai energy into the feathers to awaken sleeping memories. I am your master, give me your memory and power. A faint hint of Honkai can touch Hua gently. He took it back instantly. Yu Duchen nodded and disappeared. Hua said to Fu Hua, look at me, if only you were as sensible as her. Let me look at this memory. She closed her eyes, and after a while, she showed a strange expression, her face twisted as if she had swallowed a large spoonful of salt. It's Dr. May. Fu Hua said, they should be some insignificant moments of getting along. I took them out and there is no point in keeping them. Hua spread her hands, it doesn't make any sense, she is talking about her plan. As she spoke, she spat in disgust. Why did I listen to her so much? As a result, humanity was completely defeated under her leadership, and was almost completely destroyed. She even had to cry and hide in a cryogenic chamber until she finally disappeared before she dared to come out. The ark sent to explore the universe is missing, and there is no news from Hengsha who hid in the quantum sea. The doctor is a complete loser. I really don't understand why all mankind follows her lead. Fu Hua explained. She stood up and took on the responsibility of leading us. People trust her courage and determination. Hua waved his hand. Well, I just don't trust wisdom, okay? The courage of a moth to a flame, the determination to perish together. Great. She didn't bother to dwell on the topic any further. He quickly came to another Uduchan. Absorb it the same way. This time, the expression on her face looked a little lonely, with a little sadness and impatience. What do you see? Fu Hua asked. There was a hint of sadness in Hua's tone. It belongs to Kevin. The words fell. The exposure system presents this picture. Inside the former civilization base. After Kevin and Hua split up. When they came to a corridor, all the guards here fell to the ground and lost their ability to fight. He looked at the girl opposite. That's it, Sakura. The girl's appearance also appeared in front of everyone in Teyvat following his gaze. Pink hair, fox ears. Thunder movie, son of God. Maiko Ye, is this me? That's not right. I should be the pink fairy from before. Kamizato Ayaka, it does look a bit similar to Yigo Miyasama. Xiaogong, ahehe. Is this really the 8th palace secretary? Ye Shenzi, no. Definitely not. Alicia is my previous life. Thunder movie, son of God, this should be you. Son of Ye, absolutely not. If you don't believe me, look back. Ganyu, it does look a bit like the little fox. Ye Shenzi, sister Ganyu, do you even say that? Ganyu, it's just a guess. After all, the system only talks about the past life of the God Lord, but it doesn't say that we also have previous lives in it, right? Ye Shenzi, just wait and see, this is definitely not me. Ye Shenzi definitely doesn't believe it. He is a fairy, at least the girl who looked like a fairy was his previous life. In the screen. Sakura put her hand on her weapon. Get out of the way, Kevin. I know exactly what I'm doing. Chapter 32. Kevin refused to give in. I know it very well, that's why I came to stop you. Sakura, stop before things become irreversible. Your behavior is tantamount to betraying humanity. Sakura sneered. Betraying humanity? Ling is innocent. She didn't do anything. You can't just judge her as a danger, let alone imprison her. Kevin explained. A special Honkai energy reaction was detected in Ling's body. There is no doubt that she is the 12th Hairsker. What does it mean to have Honkai energy reaction? Sakura asked. You and I both have Honkaiju elements in our bodies, but we are fusion warriors who protect mankind. Ling has no symptoms. She can control that power and she won't hurt others. You can't take away her life. Looking at the tears falling from the corners of Sakura's eyes. Listen to her crying words. Even Kevin's tone softened. Sakura, I understand how you feel. But the ability of the 11th Hairsker is beyond everyone's imagination, and no one can imagine that disaster will come in that form. We cannot afford another loss like that. Ling's situation is very special, but she must be supervised. Please trust Dr. May to make wise judgments. Sakura shed tears. I don't doubt Dr. May's people, but I can't trust the fire chaser. Kevin, you know how those people have been looking at us all this time. I don't care what happens to me, but now that the bell is in their hands, I will never sit idly by. Step aside. She no longer wanted to delay it any longer. Sakura, fire chaser needs you, we need you. I won't hurt you, but I will never let you pass here. Kevin raised the Skyfire great sword. Sakura prepared to unsheath the weapon in her hand. Kevin, we have known each other for so long, but you have never seen with your own eyes my true abilities, right? The words fell. The sharp blade flashed with cold light, and the giant sword burst into flames. Kevin raised his big sword and walked towards Sakura. 1 step, 2 steps. What? Sakura, who was still in front of her just now, disappeared in an instant. Turning back instinctively, Sakura had disappeared 100 meters behind him and fled quickly. Kevin originally wanted to pursue, but May's contact told him to go to support elsewhere. Wait until he is done with the alarm. I chased him again. Sakura was found where the prisoners were held. Cherry. His call went unanswered. As he got closer, the strong smell of blood irritated his nostrils. The once cute little girl was covered with shocking scars, and the ground and walls were all covered with splattered blood, as if to tell the story of her last moments of despair. The entire space is filled with bottomless, chilling malice. Kevin originally thought that Sakura would be surprised, confused, angry, and crying. He had imagined countless possibilities, but now, Sakura just sat there quietly, unwilling to wake up no matter how others called. Such a scene also shocked everyone who saw this scene. Originally, they were still happily discussing whether they were Yashen's previous life. All was silent now. Humanity's malice spread to the entire Teyvat continent through the exposure system and the screen. Once again, the people of this world realize the cruelty of Honkai. Under the collapse, human malice has been infinitely magnified. There are countless such tragedies. This moment, some people realize how naive they were before. I realized how ridiculous my comments in the chat group were. Previous life? Love? These things, in front of this, look so ridiculous. Someone wants to post something in the chat area. Hesitated for a long time. It ended with just a sigh. Only Payman sent a message, "This man is more hateful than all the fools." However, no one responded to her. Everyone just looked at the screen and wanted to know what would happen next. Kevin stood behind Sakura and said to her, "The 12th Hairsker's ability is to release a large amount of corrosive viruses that spread through the air at the moment of death. Before we knew it, the soldiers in the base executed her without permission. But it awakened the Hairsker. This crisis of dead soldiers started because of her." "Sakura, you are wrong." Sakura still didn't respond. Kevin knew what she was thinking, or rather, his own. He could only persuade Sakura by convincing himself, perhaps this was not Suzu's original intention. It was the unauthorized actions of those soldiers that caused such a tragedy. But, even if those soldiers are stopped, sooner or later there will be other people and other things that will become the last straw for her. When Ling was chosen to become the Hairsker, her end was already determined. This is Honkai. Kevin's eyes flashed fiercely, and blood seemed to flow from his clenched fists at any moment. No one knows whether he said these words to himself, or, to everyone in Teyvat. He tried to keep his tone calm. But the trembling of his body exposed his pain and anger. May's communication came again. "Something happened, the Hairsker has not been eliminated yet. All the equipment and robots have fallen into the control of the other party, and it is now further seizing control of the nuclear bomb silo. The 12th Hairsker is the ultimate virus with self-awareness. This is, the Hairsker of corrosion, the true posture." Kevin immediately said, "Hang on, I'll be right back." He just wanted to leave. "Is Ling still alive?" The sudden sound froze the air. Sakura stood up and looked at Kevin blankly. "Kevin, where is she?" "Sakura? What do you want to do?" "I'm going to find her." "Are you crazy? She is no longer a belle." Kevin realized what she was going to do and tried his best to stop her. "Stop it, Sakura." Sakura had already drawn her weapon, and the time in the entire space was frozen, becoming stationary. "Wait for the freeze to disappear." Sakura has long since disappeared. Kevin anxiously came to the location of the 12th Hairsker. As soon as they arrived, news came over the communication that May had controlled the Hairsker. "Kevin, what's wrong, can you hear me?" Kevin's tone was low. "Sorry, May, can you give me a moment?" In front of him, Sakura had fallen into the endless metal ruins, like a lone flower in the ruins. Her most cherished pendant, which contained the photo of her sister Ling, also withered like her figure. "Is it, Kevin?" When Sakura was dying, she heard footsteps. "Kevin. I know you are right. May has sealed the Hairsker." She said that at the last moment, there was an unexplained disorder in the Hairsker's activities. She did not miss that opportunity. Kevin tried to keep his tone calm. Chapter 33. That's good. Sakura's eyes had long dulled, and she tried hard to squeeze out a hint of comfort from the corner of her mouth. "I accompanied Ling until the last moment, until the end. She is still my sister. I have kept the pride of being a sister." Kevin watched, wanting to carve the last part of her into his heart. "You didn't regret it until the end, and that's enough." Under his gaze, Sakura's eyes gradually dimmed, but a smile flashed in the corners of her eyes. Maybe she saw something, something only she could see. Kevin, I have one last request. I am listening. Take us back to our hometown. I promised Ling that I would take her to the square where the cherry blossoms are in full bloom. I'll try. Hearing Kevin's promise, the last light in Sakura's eyes disappeared. Funina, Sakura, just left like this. Thunder movie, sorry, I shouldn't have spoken about her so casually before. I didn't expect this result. Zhongli, perhaps, as bystanders, we have never understood Honkai. Thunder movie, Sakura is really a very good sister, reminds me of her. Compared to chat groups. Ye Shenzi couldn't wait to ask Lin Hao, what's the result? Did you take her to the square where the cherry blossoms are blooming? Etc. Without waiting for Lin Hao to speak. She noticed the sacred cherry tree in front of her. Don't tell me, you didn't. Forget it. There's no point in asking you. This happened in your previous life, and you definitely don't remember it. Perhaps he was afraid of hearing the answer. She didn't give Lin Hao a chance to speak at all, and looked at the sky again. In his ears, Lin Hao's faint sigh came. The picture changes again. The perspective came to Hua. It would be better to say, the previous memory was the specific situation that Hua learned from Kevin using Yu Duchan's power. She walked to the third level of the base. Saw Kevin leaning against the wall. He looked lost, as if he was also controlled by Yu Duchan, and was in a fugue and dream. As she approached, Kevin said, I saw everyone in the base seem to have lost their souls, and I knew it was you. Kevin. Kevin said to himself, the 12th hairsker has been sealed. Hua felt a little more relieved. Really, is Sakura okay? Kevin's voice was heavy, she's dead. He turned his head and looked into the distance. That direction was where the hairsker had been imprisoned. Ling's body had been taken away by him and placed with Sakura. The hairsker's ability this time is like a virus. It can not only hack into computers, but can even corrode humans. Honkai, it is always beyond our imagination. Hua asked, how heavy the losses were. There were about 100 casualties in the base, and those who were close to the hairsker became dead soldiers. The virus was too fast, and we didn't have time to stop it. Thanks to you, if you hadn't made a prompt decision, you stopped the virus from invading humans. I'm afraid there are no living people left in this base. Hear Kevin narrate. Hua said calmly, it seems to be good news. Kevin continued, I haven't told you the bad news yet, the 3 major cities were completely wiped out. The virus took control of the defense system and launched all nuclear bombs to the inhabited areas of the Earth. Ah! Hua was in disbelief, I'm sorry, I judge that it was a mental attack. I can't guard the computer. She sat down against the wall in frustration. This moment, she understood why Kevin was acting like this. Sorry, I thought I had the situation under control. No, it's okay. Bang dang. Kevin's body slid down from the wall without support and sat next to Hua. Or maybe, he has already been unable to support himself. It's always like that, isn't it? You're not that surprised. She couldn't argue. Humanity always wins miserably, paying a huge price and winning a weak victory. And Honkai's offensive will only get stronger and stronger, becoming more terrifying each time. We persisted until the 12th time. Kevin's tone was very low and frustrated, but in fact, everyone known a long time ago, all victories are disguises for defeats, so that we don't look so miserable. Humanity has lost, Hua. His voice was very soft, as if in a dream, but this is a fact that we absolutely cannot accept as the truth. Hua leaned against the wall. Taking a deep breath, I didn't expect you to say that. I thought anyone could give up, but you would never. Do you want to listen to the truth? Kevin revealed his true thoughts, I didn't give up, because I never persisted. I don't care. What is Honkai impact? What will happen to humans? I don't care at all. I didn't join the Fire Moth to save the world or protect peace. I have always been so selfish, but, along the way, I came through, and I came through like this. I can't admit it to anyone, I can't admit it to her, especially not to her. I thought I was an irredeemable piece of shit. Kevin hung his head. Ever since Hua met him, he had never seen him so fragile, as if he would break into powder at the slightest touch. Hua reassured, we are all the same, Kevin. No one is born a hero, we are just a group of ordinary people who have embarked on this path. I will also miss my hometown, and I will remember my previous dreams, and then ask myself, what am I doing? This is not what I want. I always followed others, first the captain, then you. Of course, the doctor always came first. I followed your footsteps thinking that was my path. But in fact, no one is forcing me. I am walking on the path of my own choice. Although I don't like it, this is my choice. I can stop at any time and fall behind. That's okay, Kevin. And no one has the right to blame you. Kevin still lowered his head. Say a whisper that only Hwa can hear, but I have. Hwa wasn't sure he wanted to respond. The two were silent until Kevin raised his head. I have not given up, Hwa, we will not give up. Well, we're not giving up. Kevin continued, humanity will win. Kevin stood up, spine straight. At this moment, he returned to being that strong warrior, walking in front of everyone, leading the way. I promised Sakura that I would take her and Ling back to my hometown, and take them to the square where the cherry blossoms bloom. She said that when you stand under the cherry blossom tree, you will find that the world is still beautiful and there is still hope. Chapter 34. Yuduchan's memory completely disappeared here. Hwa, Hairsker of Knowledge, was depressed and asked Fu Hwa, who was standing aside, do you still remember when Kevin brought Ying's body back to his hometown? Fu Hwa was silent. Obviously, that was a past she didn't want to think about. After a long time, she sighed and said, for us at that time, hope was more precious than anything else. But when Kevin brought the bodies of Sakura and Ling back to his hometown, all he saw was a wasteland with nothing left. The Hairsker controlled the silo and used nuclear bombs to completely destroy the 3 remaining cities of mankind. In that square that was reduced to ruins, there is no longer a single cherry blossom in sight. Fu Hwa seemingly plain 2 sentences. But it shocked everyone in the Teyvat continent. No cherry blossoms can be seen anymore. What a tragic and desperate scene it was. For them, cherry blossoms symbolize hope, and are the only things that can feel beautiful. Kevin must have had expectations in his heart when he took Sakura's body to his hometown. Seeing this scene, he must feel so uncomfortable, how desperate. How could he bear it? It's hard to imagine. I dare not think about it at all. They are bystanders. Just imagine that scene, the suffocating despair will completely wrap them up, completely unable to breathe, and even their spirits will collapse. In this despair, 2 words suddenly popped into the minds of the people in Teyvat, cherry blossoms? Etc. Cherry blossoms. Divine cherry tree. Ye Shenzi suddenly raised his head and looked at the sacred cherry tree in front of him. As the breeze blew, cherry blossoms fell, falling on Lin Hao's shoulders and on the ground. His eyes are empty, but they can reflect the beauty of cherry blossoms. No wonder. At this moment, everyone figured it out. All doubts were answered at this moment. No wonder Lin Hao appeared at Inajima Narukami Grand Shrine, no wonder he was willing to become the shrine master, no wonder he stood in front of the sacred cherry tree for a long time. It turns out, it's all to fulfill that promise. Even though it is already Kevin's next life. But he still didn't forget his promise and still came to the cherry blossom tree. Watching, the only hope, this moment. Everyone in the entire Teyvat continent was shocked. This truth is too heavy for them, so heavy that it is too illusory, but it is also extremely real. Ye Shenzi couldn't imagine it. This is what kind of picture is reflected in the eyes of the man next to him when he stares at the sacred cherry tree every day, and what kind of vision emerges in his mind. She opened her mouth, wanting to say something. But he found that any words, any relief, seemed so pale and meaningless to this man. He had heard too much. Nor did he need to hear any more. She looked towards the chat area. In just a short moment, thousands of messages had already appeared in it. Almost everyone in the chat area is speaking. Zhongli, this is actually the truth behind Lin Hao becoming the god of rice wife. Even the contract with Emperor Yanwang pales in comparison to his promise. Wendy, crossing the cycle of life and death, traveling through thousands of worlds, just to fulfill the promise. Nisida, Kevin, what kind of person are you? Funina, he is a hero. He is a real hero. He is what I want to be in my dream. Paimon, is this Kevin? I actually misunderstood him so deeply. Thunder movie, perhaps, only his promise can be the real eternity. Ye Kamiko only read part of it. There was so much news that she couldn't keep up with it. Someone was shocked. Some people are sad. Someone sympathizes. Someone admires. But without exception, everyone's views on him in the entire Teyvat have changed. And the heavenly exposure is not over yet. Hua, lurcher of knowledge, listened to Fu Hua's words. There was also silence for a long time. Then he asked again, Kevin, what was he like at that time? Even the hairsker of consciousness couldn't imagine what Kevin would feel like when he encountered such a desperate scene. Fu Hua's tone was still calm. On that burned-out land, he made a promise to her and everyone, no matter what the cost, humanity will definitely defeat Honkai. Although the tone is calm. But when everyone thinks about it, this is Kevin's promise. Thinking of him saying this with that extremely cold voice, extremely firm, resolute, yet sad and indignant. Everyone felt like their hairs were standing on end. How strong this is! After encountering this kind of thing and having all his hopes wiped out, he could still stand up and lead people to fight against Honkai? This moment. Nazada even thinks it's normal for Kevin to use a city as an experiment to fight against Honkai impact? It's not just her. I once doubted Kevin and questioned Kevin. For a moment, I felt that no matter how crazy he was, it was normal. After experiencing something like this, it's good enough not to collapse, right? No. Wrong. Nazada shook her little head crazily, trying to firm up her opinion. Even if you have experienced grief, you should not trample on other people's lives or gamble with other people's lives. Kevin. You are too crazy. I can understand that you are crazy, but you shouldn't be like this. Wrong. It's just wrong. Yes, it is like that. Nazada tried her best to convince herself. It's just. Later, when she thought about her current thoughts again, she couldn't help but give herself two big mouths. The heavenly exposure continues. Hua, hairsker of knowledge, waved his hand, standing on the burned earth and making promises. Kevin always likes to do these meaningless things. This time, I don't want to obey Otto or follow Kevin. I have to make my own decision in everything. I'm going to turn everything around and make it never the same again. Just watch. She came to another piece of Yuduchan and absorbed the power and memory in it. She repeated this behavior many times. Every piece of Yuduchan is my clone. They return the power and memory that belong to me. The more I take back, the harder it will be to remain indifferent to this world. The rest time is about to end. I have to become Fu Hua. She stretched out her hand and faced Fu Hua. Are you ready? Fu Hua asked, you want me to give my power back to you? I want you to be a part of me, Hua said. It's out of the question. Hua had long known that she would say this. I understand, I'm sorry. You are a good partner, sometimes I even feel like you are like a sister. Fu Hua said without mercy, it's not what you think. Come on, give it a try, I won't make any resistance, just try to absorb me. Chapter 35. As long as I don't agree, there's nothing you can do if you want to resist. Hua, hairsker of knowledge, chuckled and began to try to absorb it. Hui. She searched for the piece of feather dust and touched it with her invisible hand. But the result was the same as what the phantom Fu Hua said. She didn't feel any resistance, but Yuduchan slipped away. She tried again, but the result was the same. This feather and her were like two handfuls of liquids with opposite polarities. Even if they were closely mixed together, they were still incompatible. Why? Fu Hua Jo knew, because we are two different souls. There was sadness in her voice. But Hua heard a different emotion from it, pity. She hates pity. Different souls? You represent the past, I represent the present, that's all. Hua was a little angry. It's not such a stupid reason, right? The real reason is that you think you are more pure than me, you think you are a Fu Hua is more worthy than me. Hua hesitated for a while. Finally, I used this emotion to say what I thought was the cruelest thing, even if you are just a feather only. Fu Hua didn't understand Hua's thoughts at all. It's like she still doesn't understand Kevin's intentions. He just said calmly and coldly, you should know that what I said is the truth. Hua became even more angry. The truth? The truth is that everyone except you, Yuduchan, bows down as soon as they see me. The truth is that you are the only one with a brain problem, thinking that what you say is right. You are so stubborn. You are the one who cannot see the facts clearly. You are still living in the past, do you understand? You still regard yourself as Dr. May's tool. Times have changed. We don't have to play fusion warriors, valkyries, or students of Saint Freya. We can be ourselves, our true selves. Faced with her frustrated mood, faced with her angry and harsh words, I hated her indisputable words. Fu Hua remained extremely calm. Don't you understand yet? Hua looked at her doubtfully. Fu Hua continued, look at what you have done, don't you understand? What do I understand? Hua looked at her coldly, I understand what kind of power I have, and I understand what kind of responsibility I shoulder. I also understand how to do all this. Not relying on Dr. May, not relying on Otto, not relying on Kevin and his world snake. Fu Hua. I will save humanity in my own way, and I will defeat Honkai. Fu Hua immediately stopped her, no, I can't let you do this. Hua was very helpless towards her, are you too disappointed? Fu Hua asked, haven't you discovered yet? You are not who you claim to be. Huazhu didn't want to get entangled in this kind of thing anymore. He waved his hands and said helplessly, here we go again. Seeing how persistent you are, I can't bear to point it out, hey, you're just a feather. You have to accept this reality and you can't keep deceiving yourself. Although Hua doesn't want to continue this topic anymore. But Fu Hua had no intention of giving up. She stared into Hua's eyes and said seriously, listen, you are not the owner of this body. You are completely different from her, and there are many unexplainable doubts. Think about it carefully, Yu Duchen has been destroyed, and you only have a few feathers. Why can you control consciousness and memory to create illusions? Hua blurted out, Yu Duchen and I lived together day and night, and my body left muscle memory. No. Fu Hua decisively objected, it would be impossible to exert such a strong force in that way. Enough. Hua scolded, not wanting her to continue talking. Fu Hua still said calmly, you finally discovered that there is a reason for your awakening. It is impossible for a body without a soul to give birth to consciousness out of thin air. Shut up. You are not fighting against Honkai. Think about it carefully, all your actions, including destroying the destiny and attacking the world serpent, are actually executing Honkai's will. No matter how legitimate you may be to deceive yourself, your actions never lie. You will only do one thing, destroy. Because you are a hairsker. Fu Hua ignored Hua's emotions and said everything he wanted to say in one breath. And Hua also fell silent. She stared down at her feet. She was thinking, looking for a direction to cover up Fu Hua's accusations against her. In this way, she is no longer the one who made the mistake. She always had to dominate every conversation. You said I was a hairsker. Hua spoke, but my belief has always been to fight against Honkai, isn't it? Will Honkai allow such an apostle to exist? While taking his power, raise the sword of resistance to him. Fu Hua calmly answered her, Honkai and hairsker in this generation are different from the past. There are examples you want, Joyce, Walter, and Kiana all fight against Honkai as hairskers. Hua caught the flaw in his words. In this case, what does it matter if I am a hairsker or not? As long as I stand on the side of mankind, wouldn't it be fine? Fu Hua shook his head slightly, what matters is not your thoughts, but your actions. In my opinion, although you think you are fighting for humanity, everything you do benefits Honkai. You destroyed Destiny and the World Serpent, and they are the most determined opponents of Honkai in the world. Judging from your attitude, you will do the same thing to anti-entropy as long as you have the chance. Hua waved his hand. With a hint of dissimulation. The tone is somewhat unconfident, I will not destroy reverse entropy. I don't trust it. It has included many extremely high-risk characters, including Kiana, Brenya, Mei, and Xier. The first three have become hairskers. Teresa and Xier are also hairskers with great potential. Can you deny this? No, it's too far off topic. She returned to the previous topic again, you accuse me of being a lawyer, but your evidence is not strong at all, you want to say that I am a threat, but you can't come up with a reasonable excuse. I want to ask you, do you have to be right? If one of us is a traitor on the Honkai side, obviously you are more suitable than me. In her opinion, Fu Hua not only has no body, but even the medium of existence is the core of the hairsker of the previous generation. But when facing Hua, Fu Hua just said calmly, that's definitely not me. This tone. This is the way adults always look at children. This kind of style is always calm and always thinks that what you say is correct. Let an unknown fire rise in Hwa's heart. But I couldn't vent at all, and there was nothing I could do. I can say the same thing. What's the point of saying that? Chapter 36. Then, she said as if she was compromising, look, there are only 2 of us here, and I can destroy you without any effort. But I didn't do that, why? Because you are my friend. You are another person like me, and I like you. I will not kill you just because you have offended me. Isn't this the ironclad proof that I have humanity? She looked at Fu Hua expectantly, like a student eager to be praised by the teacher. Wait a moment. Fu Hua also said in a gentle tone, this is just proof that you don't know who you are. If you keep me, you just need another person to affirm you and support you. Hearing Fu Hua's words, Hua has yet to make a statement. There was a person in Teyvat continent who couldn't bear it anymore. She was originally sad because of the memory of Kevin and admired Lin Hao's actions, but her emotions could not calm down for a long time. But when she saw the subsequent exposure, seeing the conversation between Fu Hua and Hua, she really couldn't help it. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, I can't bear it anymore. How can this Fu Hua be so stubborn? Why can he be so incapable of chatting? If you learn how to chat with me, you will learn the law of knowledge sooner. Is it solved? Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, it really makes me angry. This hairsker of consciousness is obviously a kid who is easier to coax than Ganyu and Shenhe, but she is so angry with her. Ganyu, Zhenjun. I was very good when I was a child. Shenhe, master. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, I am right, as long as I am present, I will make sure that this lawyer of consciousness is obedient. If you 2 were replaced by lawyers of consciousness, I am afraid that you would have been killed long ago. This Fu Hua should be beaten to death. Shenhe, I do know how to do it. Ganyu, I don't know how. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, oh, I just feel sorry for Kevin. This Fu Hua is probably going to waste his good intentions. Zhongli, Kevin's only mistake may have been to underestimate Fu Hua's stubbornness. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, this lawyer of consciousness must have reached his limit, and he will be so angry that he will take action. She looked at the screen in the sky. In the screen, Hua was indeed very angry. Ah! It's true. I can't communicate with you at all. She stamped her feet angrily, as if she was about to hit someone at any moment. Gritting his teeth, he stared at Fu Hua and took deep breaths, forcing himself to suppress his anger. Liu Yunjifeng Zhenjun saw this scene. They all felt a little sluggish. He murmured, can you still bear this? Isn't it too cute? I almost want to raise her butt. She spoke in the chat area, it's strange why the hairskers of this generation are so, well, cute, but the hairskers of the pre-civilization made Kevin pay such a heavy price. Zhongli, it's indeed strange. There must be a special reason. Ye Shenzi, I believe in the exposure system. Since this section of content is played specifically, there must be a special purpose. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, that's true. But little fox, help me ask Lin Hao, where can I find this lawyer of consciousness? I also want to raise one. Ganyu, Zhenjun, are you kidding me? Shenhe, master, am I going to have a junior sister, at the same time? On the sky screen, Hua, who was angry, suddenly heard the roar of the battleship engine. Hey! She looked in the direction of the sound and took a closer look, that's Kiana and Brenya. Fu Hua immediately said, don't involve them. Hey Hua was as happy as a child, who said we would be involved? Don't worry, I just want the 2 of them to help. The 2 of us can't argue. It's meaningless except to add to each other's problems. Bystanders know who is right and who is the Fu Hua that should exist. Of course, it's not up to us to decide. It's easy to handle now, look, she pointed to the sky and shouted excitedly, the referee is coming soon. In order to let them better serve as referees, she even specially arranged an illusion on Daozhu mountain and placed some Yu-Duchin containing memories on their only path. In her opinion, the only way to understand her past self is to see these memories. In order to make a more fair judgment. And as the 2 of them arrived at Daozhu mountain, they watched one memory after another. Finally came to Hua. But the moment I saw her, Brenya subconsciously took a step back and asked, who are you? Hua sighed helplessly, is it okay for everyone to ask me this when they see me? I am your squad leader. My appearance has not changed. Kiana said, you are very similar to the squad leader, but she won't be like this. Just now, when the two arrived here, they knew that everything was an illusion. Fu Hua would never do such immature nonsense. Hua said helplessly, in the final analysis, I'm still not used to it. He casually threw Yu Duchen out, and Fu Hua's figure also appeared. Well, they like to talk to you, so you can explain to them. Don't say unnecessary words at the same time. The illusion on Daozhu Mountain also disappeared. Fu Hua looked at the familiar two people with a hint of nostalgia in his tone. Hi, Kiana, Brenya, are you all okay? Through this familiar way of saying hello, the two of them instantly recognized her as the squad leader they were familiar with. Next moment, the invisible force bound Fu Hua so tightly that she could no longer speak. Hua said dissatisfied, I told you not to say unnecessary words. We want fair competition, so don't cheat. Just tell her who we are. Fu Hua had no choice but to say to Kiana, I am the piece of Yu Duchen that was attached to you before, and she is, the Fu Hua who was killed by Otto? Hua frowned. I always felt like something was wrong, it's weird. But she didn't know what was wrong. He could only say, but, it's okay only. This scene is in the eyes of the real onlookers on the continent of Teyvat. That's not the case at all. Wendy, fair play. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, this child, is easily fooled. Funina, in the name of Fukalos, the god of justice, I declare that Fu Hua cheated. Nazada. I should say that Fu Hua is smart, but he is naive. He obviously cannot understand Kevin's intentions, but he shows his wisdom at this time. Shen He, is my little junior sister going to be bullied? Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, well, if I were present, this lawyer of consciousness would definitely have a good result. Chapter 37. Zhongli, so, do you think this hairsker of consciousness will end badly? Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, with Fu Hua's way of speaking, even if she is not angry to death, she will be beaten to death. One of the two will die. Zhongli, don't worry, didn't Kevin arrange a backup plan? Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, you mean Yetu? Yes, let me continue to look at it in the screen. Hua snapped his fingers. Yu Duchen quickly dissipated. Fu Hua also dissipated. Kiana became anxious on the spot, what did you do to the squad leader? Brenya also raised her hands unceremoniously, ready to fire at any time. Hua said dissatisfied, hey, what are you doing? I just let her rest for a while. Brenya can't believe you. Brenya was still wary of her. Why? Hua really couldn't understand. Brenya said, your intention is not simple. Brenya knows, Brenya can see it. You can obviously show up openly, but you deliberately go around in such a big circle and create fake Daozhu Mountain. Let us look at the squad leader's memory and create a fake big sister to lead the way. Hua patiently explained, first, Daozhu Mountain is not fake. I just made some modifications based on your consciousness to fit in the plot I designed. This is the real Daozhu Mountain from beginning to end. Second, I hope you understand me better. I used to be a boring gourd, telling outsiders nothing, which caused a lot of trouble. Now I have woken up and I will be very honest with you. I will let you see clearly my previous failures, mistakes, and stubbornness, so that you can make a fair decision. As for the third thing, if I personally come out to guide you, wouldn't everything be exposed? You have to do a full show. Fu Hua, who watched the whole conversation between the two, shook his head slightly. You shouldn't do this. However, Hua didn't take her words seriously at all. Really? Brenya's tone was full of hostility, you are teasing us, what is your purpose? Tease. Hua was greatly wronged, why did I play tricks on you? Were you hurt? Were you in danger? You were under my supervision the whole time, and there is no possibility of anything happening. As a result, you responded to me with such hostility. Kiana. Brenya. The two looked at each other. For a moment, I actually felt a trace of guilt in my heart. It's as if they really did something wrong. It was as if the two of them were really bullying her. The entire Daozhu Mountain fell silent at this moment. The atmosphere also seemed a bit awkward. Kiana scratched her head, a little at a loss. Brenya reminded, don't be misled, Kiana, this guy is the same as us. Kiana also reacted, yes, and we also want to take back the squad leader next moment. The Honkai energy in the two people's bodies was operating, and the hairsker's power was also revealed. Seeing this scene, Zhongli sighed, have we still come this far, in the chat area? Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, hey! Why is this world full of people who don't know how to chat? I can't explain it, but I want to take action. Funina, unfair. This is unfair. As a adjudicator, how can you attack people on the trial bench? Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, how can there be any fairness? From the beginning, they were bullying her, but now it has become 3 people bullying 1 person. Funina, as the god of justice, I want to go over and participate in the trial. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, if I had been here, this riot would have ended long ago. Now, I'm afraid it will become more and more chaotic. And the fact is exactly as she said. Hua saw the 2 of them in a fighting stance. He also sighed, well, only fists are the last word. If I don't teach you a lesson, I don't think you will listen to me. The battle began immediately. Kiana and Brynja attacked her together. Facing the attack of 2 people, Hua put his hands behind his back and responded with 1 hand. At the same time, he constantly commented on them and encouraged Kiana not to lose to Honkai. Soon, Kiana discovered that even if they attacked together, they could not find any flaws. Fists can't defeat her at all. Right now, Fu Hua's voice appeared in Kiana's mind and told her the full truth of the matter. I have the power of my heyday, coupled with the Hairskir's ability. I am an opponent that I can't beat no matter what. The only way to solve this dilemma is to find a way out. Kiana immediately asked, what should I do? Fu Hua said, you have to question her. Question her? Kiana didn't know what it meant. Fu Hua could only continue to explain, she doubted that she was me, she believed that she was me, and she forced herself to be me, this is the foundation of all her actions. But ultimately, she is just a newly born child. She still has good intentions and rationality, and Honkai has not completely controlled her yet. If she realizes that she is not who she thinks she is, if she understands her true identity, she will panic and will not be able to use the Hairskir's abilities correctly. The flaw she reveals then will be our only chance. However, what we have to do is not to destroy her, we must be careful, Kiana, not to push her completely into the abyss of collapse. After hearing her plan, Kiana nodded to show that she understood. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng couldn't bear it at all. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, this Fu Hua, has lived for so many years and has no experience in raising children? He actually came up with such a bad idea. Doesn't he know that children are meant to be coaxed? How can he be used as a leverage? Well, this doesn't make the child more noisy. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, when Ganyu was a child, she was too greedy and cried when she saw food. I always coaxed her and taught her. Ganyu, Zhenjun. Don't say unnecessary words. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, I am just too anxious. I really didn't expect these 3 people to come together and come up with such a method. Zhongli, indeed, it is in line with Fu Hua's style. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, I can't even imagine what Kevin's expression will be like after hearing the report. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, what kind of person is that Yetu? He shouldn't be any better at coaxing children than these 3 people, right? Chapter 38. About Yetu. The people of Teyvat had never seen her. I've only heard of this name. But Liu Yunjifeng Zhenjun believes that no matter what, he can't be more stubborn than Fu Hua, and he can't speak even more. After all, that was the person arranged by Kevin. At the same time, in the exposure screen, Hua also noticed something unusual. Kiana, who was still fighting hard just now, was obviously sluggish in her movements. All of a sudden, she guessed everything. After all, this Fu Hua has never been very honest and always wants to cheat. Old antique. Don't call me that. Hua said in surprise, hey, you are here. Fu Hua replied, of course. Hua smiled, I forgot about you just now. I thought you took the opportunity to run away, you didn't run away, right? Did I think too much? Am I still here? Hua checked carefully and confirmed that Fu Hua was right and that she was indeed still there. He didn't pay attention and didn't go into details, oh it's okay. She dispersed all the illusions around her. Only then did Kiana notice that Brynja had been defeated and fell asleep beside her. Brynja. Hua walked up to her and explained, she is too trusting. Is the power of the first Hairskir so easy to control? Look what happened to those men. Let her rest, don't hold on. Hey, anyway, you are enough. We only need one referee. She got Fu Hua out again. The two stood in front of Kiana together. The thing is very simple. This guy and I have some differences, and I want you to seek justice. Who do you think is the real Fu Hua? Kiana's eyes swept back and forth between the two of them. She knew very well who the real Fu Hua was. But, she couldn't show it. But Hua didn't know what she was thinking at all, and was still talking. Use your intuition to judge, what do you think? Is it me, the stronger, more decisive, more rational Fu Hua, or that old antique? What's wrong? Hua saw Kiana and didn't make a choice for a while. Kiana said, this kind of thing is unfair. Hey? How unfair is it? You want me to make a decision, but I know nothing about you. You let me see many squad leaders' pasts, but you said that you have become a new person. I still don't understand you at all. Kiana continued, all I know is that you set a trap on Daozhu Mountain to fool Brenya and me. How can we give a fair judgment in this case? Hua's eyes widened. He was dumbfounded, looking at Fu Hua for a while and Kiana for a while. Wow! You're right. I thought you would choose her. After all, people have preconceptions, but, wow! Hua was completely shocked by Kiana's words. It's my fault, Kiana. I should introduce myself first. At least I should let you know, what is the difference between me and that old antique. To show this, she created an illusion again, replaying the past one by one. Moreover, she made choices one by one based on her current character to show what her new self is like. Even for the sake of fairness. She completely started to know Kiana from Fu Hua, allowing Kiana to get to know her completely. I was worried that Kiana would not understand, so I was still explaining to her throughout the whole process why she did what she did, and why she chose a completely different approach from old antique, but as the fantasy changes, as things develop, Hua feels more and more something is wrong. Kiana, I was controlled by the consciousness of Hairsker of the Sky at that time. I was the biggest threat in the world. How would you deal with it if it were me? Hua, I will kill you directly. I'm sorry. Your awakening was a miracle that happened by chance. If you had it to do over again, you may not be able to defeat Hairsker's consciousness. We have endured the price of being merciful to Honkai. Cannot afford. Kiana, but the squad leader wanted to save me at that time. Magnificent. Hua, I am very experienced in facing the world snake Luo Luo, and I can easily eliminate it. Kiana, the squad leader, was very weak and unable to fight. Hua, I'm sorry, I don't want to either, but I'm really not used to pretending to be weak. Kiana, you can't understand the feelings of the weak. The monitor I know is a strong person who can understand the weak. Hua, I have already said that I am not her, you have to consider who is better. Kiana, you want to say that you are not Fu Hua? Hua, of course I am. But, I have changed. Liu. When Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng saw this scene, he felt very sorry for the lawyer of consciousness. The poor kid was completely manipulated in the chat area. Paimon, look, as long as you encounter the barb spirit, even the Hairsker will be completely unable to parry it. Kamizato Ayaka, this poor child. Funina, blasphemy. Blasphemy. This is blasphemy against fairness and justice. I really want to send the Cardinal Oracle to them and give them a fair and just trial. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, oh Ganyu, Shenhe, you two should take this as a warning and learn to chat with me more often, otherwise, one day you will be as depressed as the lawyer of knowledge. Shenhe, it's okay, master. If the other party doesn't communicate well, I will beat him until he is willing to communicate well. Ganyu, Zhenjun, in such a situation, there is no point in chatting again, right? Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, that's because they didn't meet me. If I were at the scene, they would have reconciled long ago. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, I really don't know what their outcome will be in the end. Zhongli, I think there will be results soon. It was pretty much what Zhongli had guessed. In the screen. With the end of the fantasy. Kiana also said, maybe you are better and stronger than the squad leader, and can defeat more powerful enemies. You may be a better squad leader. Yet. Hua nodded vigorously, waiting with joy for her to continue. But you are not my monitor. Kiana no longer tried to hide it, you asked the wrong person. The two people in front of you and the Fu Hua you despised used to get along day and night. We are her friends. We don't care what kind of person Fu Hua should be or what kind of person he can become. What we like is that Fu Hua, just that Fu Hua. You can't replace her. The smile on Hua's face disappeared. She fell silent. She couldn't believe it. Is this your answer? Is this your answer? You choose her? You choose her. She felt aggrieved. I'm not Fu Hua, she is. Is this your answer? Her body trembled slightly. He raised his head, frowning, biting his lips and drawing blood, and a mist appeared in his eyes. Chapter 39. This moment. She was like a child who had been wronged. You idiot! Idiot! Fool! Idiot! You! This she was angry, her anger was burning, but it suddenly cooled down when it exploded. She reacted suddenly and widened her eyes. You made up your mind a long time ago, right? You never took me seriously. It was never an option. And she has been helping you. You. Hua closed her eyes. He clenched his fists hard and couldn't help but tremble. It turns out I'm the only one still thinking about it, it's really unfair. Okay, if you want that Fu Hua, I'll give it back to you, give it back to you. She remained motionless as a feather appeared out of thin air and shot out like an arrow, landing in front of Kiana. Don't you want her? You all want her, I'll give it back to you. Kiana didn't care about her emotions. Instead, he hurriedly knelt down and gently picked up the feather, monitor. The feathers were so light, as if they were nothing, and a familiar feeling came over them. Fu Hua's voice also floated out, untied, Kiana. The hairskir's bundle disappeared. Hua looked at their intimacy. The fire in my heart was even bigger. Yes, you are going to die too. I will not give you even a little bit of power. No one can save you except me. Go to hell. Go to hell. Go to hell you all. Even though she was very angry and kept shouting, Kiana still ignored her. Instead, he tried to use Daozhu's sword chi to input Honkai energy into the feather, but the energy just surrounded it. Fu Hua said, don't waste your power on me, Kiana, there are more important threats. Hua continued to say coldly, yes, don't waste your efforts. Yuduchin is not that simple. No, there is another way. Kiana raised her head and looked at Hua in front of her, that is to take back your body. A spear appeared in her hand. See this scene. Not only Liu Yunjifeng Zhenjun, but also countless people in the entire Teyvat continent were speechless. Really? Hua is the law of consciousness, an unstable and dangerous existence. But anyone who has had contact with children or has experience in this area can see that the current lawyer of consciousness is simply angry and having trouble. As long as she says a few nice words and coaxes her, she will happily give her power to Fu Hua. It would never have evolved into the current situation. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, I am really angry. How did they turn things into the worst possible situation? Kamizato Ayato, this lawyer of consciousness is obviously a kid who is easier to coax than my sister. Nasada, I seem to understand why Kevin is so tired. Wendy, you are looking at it too one-sidedly. Kiana is just caring and causing chaos. From her point of view, the hairsker of knowledge is someone who has invaded the body of her best friend and used her image as a good friend to cause trouble everywhere. The bad guy. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, in the final analysis, these kids still don't know how to chat. Sudden. The scene in the sky changed. Arriving at a hidden corner of Daozhu Mountain. Over there. The silver-haired Yatua is watching Kiana and Hua, hairsker of knowledge, confront each other. Why did it become like this? She was confused and didn't understand. Before coming to Daozhu Mountain, Kevin had already told her everything he knew about the hairsker of knowledge in that battle, and deduced her character and how to deal with it. According to Kevin, this may be the best hairsker to deal with. Therefore, she was sent to perform the mission alone. After her arrival, Kiana and Brinya had already arrived here and came into contact with the hairsker of knowledge. In order to avoid more trouble, she chose to hide in this corner and wait for the final result. In this way, I can also report to the Lord. Only. The development of things was completely beyond her expectation. Do you want to report it to the Lord? Just wait a little longer. Yato hesitated, but decided to continue to wait and see. If the situation was completely out of control, she could just take action. Hua stared at Kiana with a very dissatisfied tone. It seems that old antique didn't tell you everything, Kiana. Do you want to save her? Don't say that you have no chance to beat me. Even if you win, you can't save her or wishful thinking. This body is mine. With her current strength, she wants to take over my body? There is no way. But without my body, her strength cannot be restored. Do you understand? This is a dead end, a dead end. She's dead, ha ha ha, she's dead. Even so. Kiana still clenched the spear silently. Idiot. Hua lowered her head, no one knew what she was thinking. After a moment, he raised his head again, okay. If you want to fight, then go ahead. I will stay with you until the end. Along with her voice, the world began to bend and twist, twisting into a huge whirlpool, with strips of light flying out of it and sweeping towards Hua. Kiana, old antique, since you two are so stubborn, don't blame me for being serious. I am kind to my friends and never show mercy to my enemies. This is the complete Ji Yuan, the complete Fu Hua, the complete, me. Hua raised his right hand and snapped his fingers. Everything around him changed. The previous attacks were all in vain because of this change. Wait until you come to your senses. This place is already a sword tomb, and Hua's voice also floats out. Return to yourself without losing. Kiana, how do you think you compare to Otto, Kevin, and Hollander? As the sound gets closer, Hua also appeared in front of Kiana. There were tears in the corners of her eyes, obviously she had cried aggrievedly just now. But he still said unforgivingly, stop overestimating your abilities, fool. Kiana didn't talk too much nonsense with her at all. He raised his hand and pulled the trigger, firing several bullets at the opponent. Ding ding ding. With a crisp sound, all the bullets were blocked by Hua, and a long gun appeared in her hand. Kiana, I value fairness the most. If you use a gun, I will use a gun too. I want you to be convinced of your defeat. Kiana looked at the spear and raised her eyebrows, yours is a long-handled one. They're all guns anyway. She raised the gun in her hand and threw it at Kiana. The battle between the two also intensified. But in the seemingly fierce battle, anyone with a discerning eye can see that Hua is not really showing off his strength, but is more like showing off his strength, just like a child who longs for attention and recognition. Chapter 40. You can't beat me. Think about it. What's the point of this battle? How can the outcome change? When facing Hua, Kiana remained silent. Just responding to her attacks was already overwhelming, and she had no extra energy to engage in verbal arguments. I'm here, Kiana. Fu Hua's voice suddenly sounded in her mind. Kiana, who was originally tired of dealing with it, suddenly felt an infinite sense of security, as if she had more power. The monitor hasn't given up, then I can't give up either. She immediately fought back. The spear in his hand is accompanied by a combination of bullets from the gun. Hua said coldly, that's because I showed mercy and she was about to die. Is it worth it? Why should I protect a trash? You do not understand. The battle between the two became increasingly fierce. Especially Hua. Seeing that Kiana still refused to give up and still resisted desperately, the jealousy and anger in her heart became more and more intense. Why? Can't you two just listen to me? She held back no more. All the power burst out. The entire illusion space began to vibrate, and the overflowing collapse could almost lift Kiana away. Kiana also knew that she could no longer hold back, and immediately activated the Honkai energy in her body to fully mobilize the power of the hairsker of the sky. The whole person flew into the air. Countless subspace spears and Hua's condensed swords collided together, causing violent explosions. The two are chasing and fighting in the air. No doubt about it. If this was not in the fantasy realm, if it was on Daozhu mountain outside, I am afraid that the entire Daozhu mountain would be razed to the ground. Ding! The charging General Hua aimed his spear at Kiana. Just when it was about to hit her, she was blocked by the sudden appearance of feathers. This is Fu Hua using his last strength to try his best to help Kiana withstand these injuries. This will also give Kiana a better chance of winning. Exactly this behavior. Hua, hairsker of knowledge, was even more angered. She flew high into the sky, using all her power to use the Daozhu sword chi to transform into a gas form. The terrifying power caused this illusion to begin to collapse. Tens of thousands of broken swords in the sword tomb flew into the air and gathered together. It was Kiana who saw this devastating blow. There was a hint of fear in my heart, the squad leaders. When she still doubted whether she could win. Kiana. Following Fu Hua's voice, her power also poured into Kiana's body to guide her. Control your power, recall what I taught you. Taegzu Sword Chi. Shen Yun. Under her guidance, Kiana also used this most powerful move. The two forces collide. The terrifying power shattered the illusion inch by inch. Fu Hua also found the only gap. The hairskirt of knowledge was shaken when she saw Shen Yun, and she did not miss the opportunity. Keep it under control. Thank you, Kiana. The illusion is about to be lifted. You can go back and leave the rest to me. This time it will probably be, farewell forever. Kiana watched Fu Hua's figure gradually become illusory, and shouted anxiously, wait a minute, squad leader, there should be other ways. Fu Hua's tone was calm, as if he had already accepted this result, maybe, but this is my mission. There's that word again. Kiana looked at the feathers of Yu Duchen falling down. Unwilling to accept this result anymore, that's enough. Give me back the squad leader. With the power of the hairskirt of space, she penetrated deep into the consciousness of the hairskirt of Fu Hua's sealed consciousness. It's here. Has all the memories of Fu Hua. With all the things she went through. She also had her true inner thoughts, all of which made Kiana feel the same way. Red Kite Immortal, I didn't lie. The bullet penetrated her head, leaving her lying on the ground in pain. Fu Hua's voice also fell into his mind, I have experienced too much betrayal and deception. Kiana got up with difficulty, Monitor, I will never lie to you. Before she could get up. In front of him were the corpses of those familiar people. Li Shui can only accompany you so far. Fu Hua's voice sounded again, everyone who trusts me will be affected by me. Kiana clenched her fists and stood up, I'm very strong, don't worry about it hurting me. No matter how hard I try, I can't resist the passage of time. In the end, I am still alone. I won't let you be alone. Kiana uses all her power. He opened the seal as strong as a cage and found Fu Hua's consciousness deep inside the seal. Kiana? Why are you here, if the seal is broken? Fu Hua still wanted to persuade. Kiana pulled it over and said, what a shame. Then I'll blow it up again. If you want to escape from me, there's no way. All seals are broken. Kiana's realization in her words were also conveyed into Fu Hua's heart. Fu Hua's heart finally changed. And all this? The lawyer of consciousness sees them all. Humph, ha ha ha, just because I am a hairskirt, am I doomed to fail? In the end, what I always wanted to be was not me. What I always wanted to destroy was myself. I laughed at everyone, haha, but the funniest one was me. There is really no fairness in this world, right? Fu Hua looked at her and could only say, it's not your fault that you were born as a lawyer. At this moment, both of them knew very well that they had been bound together for a long time. If the hairskirt of knowledge died, Fu Hua would also die. But in the end, the hairskirt of knowledge chose to return his body to her. Left alone. Fu Hua, who had obtained a body, returned to Kiana and Brenya. Watch this scene. Everyone in Teyvat continent was deeply moved. Some people lamented that after 50,000 years, Fu Hua finally belonged to. Some people feel sorry for the hairskirt of consciousness and feel sorry for her. Just when everyone was thinking about how to express their feelings, the picture suddenly changed. Originally it was a happy scene of Fu Hua returning under the sun, reunited with his friends, and heading towards the future. Next moment, it turned into a dark and lonely hall again. Sitting in the main hall was a man who looked like thousand-year-old ice. A feeling of loneliness spread through the picture to everyone's heart, especially after watching Kiana save Fu Hua just now. This made the loneliness in front of him more dazzling, more difficult to ignore, and more suffocating. Only by witnessing the light can we understand the horror of darkness. That's exactly what happened at this time. Fu Hua experienced betrayal, death farewell, and was finally saved by Kiana for 50,000 years. What about Kevin? What has he experienced in these 50,000 years, and can anyone save him? No. Everyone in Teyvat has the answer. No one can save Kevin, because the person who can save him from this endless loneliness is already dead. Chapter 41. Silence. Whenever a pin falls on the ground, the man on the throne will be awakened. He just sat there. The memories of the past and companions, the will entrusted to him, and the future expected from everyone, all appeared in front of his eyes day after day like a dream, and then turned into nothingness. These pictures, just reminded him over and over again of the fact that humanity was once destroyed and destroyed. As the Hersker of Knowledge said, his time had stopped the moment Mei died. See this scene. Everyone in Teyvat's mood hit rock bottom. The original joy, the comfort caused by Fu Hua being rescued, all disappeared. Kevin! What has this man been through? Where is the end of this man? What is it that he is seeking? Everyone discovered, it seemed like they didn't understand him from beginning to end. They tried to bring in Kevin. What came instead was an unbelievable sense of suffocation. Funina, I seem to understand why the same things can bring back memories of Kevin's past. Wendy, I think, Kevin is envious of Fu Hua, right? She can remove the past memories through Yu Duchen, but his memories will reappear over and over again, constantly beating his heart. Paimon, I knew this exposure system wouldn't do unnecessary things, it was just to set off Kevin. Ying, that's true. If it weren't for Fu Hua's comparison, maybe I wouldn't be able to have such a deep feeling for Kevin. Funina, compared to him, I am too relaxed. I want to know his past and understand everything he is burdened with. Zhongli, if he can endure such loneliness, his heart has already surpassed that of a god. 8 Godson, is this Lin Hao's previous life? I feel a little sorry for him. Wendy, little fox, if you feel sorry for him, let Lei Movie come out to accompany him. Thunder Movie, drunkard. Be careful, I come out and chop you first. Zhongli, 10,000 years of loneliness, reincarnation of life and death, the only one who can save him from this eternal loneliness is you. Thunder Movie, stop talking nonsense. Wendy, we are not talking nonsense. Mei is dead, so Mei is the only one who can save Kevin. How great that Kiana saves Fu Hua and Mei saves Kevin. Zhongli, generally speaking, when Lord Lin Hao goes to Dao wife, you should be the one to save him. Thunder Movie, where does this come from? In the pure land of one mind. Lei Movie looked at Zhongli's words in the chat area. Then he looked at the lonely figure on the throne. For some reason, I felt a little sad in my heart. She seemed to see the eternal end of her pursuit. No. This was definitely not the eternity she wanted. She wants to tell Lin Hao the eternity she pursues, to let him come out of this eternal loneliness, and let him come out from under the sacred cherry tree. General, I want to see him. Only I can save him. General Raiden, I advise you to look at the exposure again and don't be anxious. The relationship between Raiden Mei and Kevin is still unclear. Da-da-da. Subtle footsteps came from the corridor. It interrupted Lei's thoughts and awakened the man from the memory of the past. It's a grey snake. He came to Kevin. Lord, the matter regarding the Hersker of consciousness has been resolved. There was just a small accident. Accident. As the sound came, Grey Snake felt that the temperature of the entire space had dropped a little. Grey Snake knew very well that the venerable man in front of him did not care about his comrades who had fought side by side. He hurriedly reported the detailed situation to him. After listening, Kevin was silent. What happened was beyond his expectation. But it's reasonable. After all, it's Hua, and it's normal for things to turn into this. The grey snake who had been below seemed to see a deeper loneliness in Kevin's eyes. I don't know how much time has passed. Only then did Kevin speak again. Let Yato continue with the plan. Yes, Lord. Grey Snake did not leave, but continued to report. According to Jackal's observation of the imaginary space, a new Hersker is about to arrive. Kevin said coldly, let Raven and Thunder Mei handle it. Yes, Lord. As the Grey Snake left, the entire hall fell silent again. Although this time, the exposure system did not play scenes of Kevin recalling the past. But everyone knew that what appeared before his eyes must be what happened in the previous civilization's battle against the Hersker. Soon, Grey Snake passed on the order. At the same time, people were specially sent to search for the Hersker of knowledge. A wandering Hersker was always an unstable factor. He needed to confirm it again to eliminate threats to his lord. Under his orders, Raven and Raiden Mei also began to take action against the new Hersker. In the exposure screen, a strange doll appears, and begins to destroy the world, to induce Xi. Picture after picture flashed by quickly. Let people in Teyvat continent quickly know what happened during this period. At last, the scene is frozen in a tavern. Burgundy on the right, push in. In front of the wine rack, Mei and Raven stood side by side. She followed Raven's instructions and nudged the bottle. With the sound of some kind of mechanical rotation, a display screen appeared on the drunk driver. Raven chuckled and said, "Yeah, you found it before I even said which one? Most people can't tell the difference between these red wines. There is no need to distinguish, the cleanest bottle is the mechanism." Miai's tone was much softer than when they first met. The Raven smiled and said, "Haha, you are very sharp. It seems that you have gradually adapted to the life here." Miai didn't answer. During the time she was walking with Snake, she learned more and more about her hairsker's power, became more proficient in using it, and became much closer to Raven. She somewhat understood the reason why this organization could always lurk in the shadows. Surveillance equipment is everywhere, secret doors are connected to each other, and there are areas outside the Sunday. Life here has an independent and complete set of rules, just like the other side of the world, a huge hazy shadow. Today is the day to connect with snakes. You are 5 minutes late. The sound came from the other side of the screen, and the disturbance of the radio waves made Mei Yi feel that the sound did not seem to come from a human being. Or maybe, the person under the mask is not a person in the first place. Raven looked at the grey snake on the screen and said, "I am the one who arrived late, but there is nothing I can do about it. The two incidents happened so far apart, and the road here is blocked. Please be considerate." Chapter 42. Grey Snake was as emotionless as ever. "I don't care about this, just tell the conclusion." Raven replied, "The conclusion is, no progress." Grey Snake didn't respond, just waiting quietly for the next step. Both warehouses have traces of being invaded, and it is true that the goods were destroyed, but I don't know whether we arrived too late or the other party was prepared in advance. There are no clues pointing to the dolls at the scene, and it is not like other cases. There were reports of missing persons. It's not certain that the trouble here is caused by the hairsker. Either we missed something, or the opponent this time is unusual. Grey Snake thought for a while after hearing this. "Keep tracking. I believe this incident is related to the doll. Moreover, this individual's behavior is logically unique and has recycling value." Raven nodded, "I understand." Grey Snake turned his attention to Mei. "How are you doing there?" Mei Yi replied, "It's just a smuggling group that used the name of World Snake. They were all dealt with and no abnormalities were found." Grey Snake said with some regret, "It's such a pity, Jackal still cares about that group of people." "I didn't care, really? It's a pity that I didn't see anything special. They were all poor imitations and forgeries. She shouldn't be interested. The scene has been cordoned off. If she cares, she can go there and see for herself. Oh, I'm afraid she will have to hunt for treasure in a pile of ashes. The method I used is a bit extreme. I will tell her." Grey Snake gave Mei Yi a deep look. "You and Raven continue to track the whereabouts of the special doll individual and bring it back, whether alive or dead." After speaking, he hesitated for a moment. Then he said, "Thunder and lightning Mei, go and prove whether you are qualified." After that, he hung up the communication directly. The room became quiet, and there seemed to be some unpleasant smell in the air, like the cold touch left behind by a snake crawling. Ever since the hairsker of domination appeared, they have been tracking the whereabouts of these dolls. Only, what Mei doesn't understand is why the world snake is looking for a special individual among the dolls. And what does the qualification just mean? She looked at the Raven in front of her. "Haven't asked yet." The Raven shrugged, "Don't ask me, I don't know anything." The two have been fighting side by side for some time. Mei thought she knew something about her. It wasn't that the Raven didn't know the answer, but she couldn't reveal the qualification to herself. So why does Grey Snake deliberately mention this? Compared to this, is your report just now really okay? A bit too extreme? If it's yours, aren't you afraid that that group of people has something special in their hands? Raven stared at Mei's face for a while, as if there was something strange on her face. What can there be? Mei also followed her words and talked about the previous mission, and stopped asking about qualifications. While the two were chatting, the interface of the exposure system is also deliberately divided into one screen. What is shown in it is how the lawyer of domination confuses people's hearts, how he causes panic all over the world, and destroys the stability of the entire world. Let everyone in Teyvat realize one thing, this hairsker is completely different from the hairsker of consciousness. Compared to the appearance of a child in the hairsker of knowledge, the hairsker of domination is simply the aggregation of human malice. It gathers the little bits of malice in everyone's heart and magnifies them infinitely, allowing these seemingly inconspicuous malices to trigger the most terrifying disasters. Even Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, who had just shouted that he wanted to raise a hairsker of consciousness, felt uncomfortable. In the chat area, she complained about the ruler hairsker in her special way of chatting. The scene in the sky flashed. Come evening. The perspective is still dominated by Raiden Mei. Regarding this, people in Teyvat continent are already used to it. Seaside warehouse. Here we are. Another warehouse that looks almost the same. Mei Yi and Raven looked at the warehouse not far away from the rooftop. Raven said, "It's almost time for that guy to appear." Probably because he heard about attacks on other warehouses, there are obviously more guards here. Mei Yi asked, "Then will our target still sneak in here?" Raven thought for a while and replied, "I don't think it has much impact. The hairsker of domination always gives people the feeling of not giving up until the goal is achieved. For this, even life can be sacrificed. Let's take action too." The sound fell, and the two people disappeared from the roof of the building in an instant. Appear in this warehouse the next moment. After quickly dealing with several irrelevant people, the two appeared in front of a box. "Is this the box you were talking about before? The doll is inside." Raven nodded. "Well, the packaging hasn't even been changed. Do you want to open it and take a look?" Mei reminded, "Be careful. According to the intelligence collected before, when we come into contact with the doll, we may be transported to a different space called the Domination Theater." "It doesn't matter, I've been prepared." Raven took out a small round device from his pocket and waved it in front of Mei Yi, a simple electromagnetic shield. Although the power is far inferior to yours, it is still quite effective in isolating energy erosion. After entering, we may be forced to separate. Be prepared to act alone and try to find a way to join the other party. The two exchanged glances and nodded. Touch the doll together. Next moment, a burst of bright light struck, and when Mei Yi came back to her senses. "We have arrived at a theater. The raven has disappeared, and the theater is littered with monsters like a child's discarded toys. Hey! Look what I found! An unexpected guest. Welcome to the Domination Theater." "Who?" I immediately looked in the direction where the sound came from. It was a doll. The doll welcomed her warmly, took her around the theater, and then sincerely invited Mei to join them. During this period, Mei carefully observed that there were no other dolls in the theater except Honkai products. This confused her. She needs more information. "Tell me about everyone in your mouth. How did you think of letting me become one of you?" The puppet replied, "Because everyone is weak, has experienced failure, and is despairing of this world." "Oh, of course, you are strong now, unlike us. If it had been earlier, you would have been invited naturally." "Is you? However, you are still qualified to enter this theater." "Qualifications?" Mei Yi's pupils were slightly locked. Grey Snake also mentioned qualifications. Is there any connection between the two? Chapter 43. Mei stared at the doll in front of her. Decided to get more information from her, especially regarding qualifications. "How do you think I am qualified?" The puppet replied, "Because you still have despair in your heart. I know what you are thinking. Anti-entropy cannot save her, and destiny cannot save her. Someone must stand up to break the status quo. In this case, this person can only. It's you. It's so great. But everyone here is just like you, and they are all people who have fought tenaciously against the injustice of reality. But what's the use of this? Once you solve a problem, there will be another problem immediately. If you correct a mistake, there will be another mistake in the blink of an eye. At the end of the day, we can't change anything." Oh, right. The puppet watched her dancing happily. It suddenly occurred to me that it doesn't matter if you don't want to join us. I have someone who can help you in other ways. We can turn you and Kiana back into ordinary humans. Mei Yi said, "This sentence sounds familiar. What are you going to do?" Giggle, giggle, just like this. The doll came close to Mei Yi and assumed a strange posture, as if she was accumulating some kind of strength. She clenched her hands and made a ta-ta sound along with her. A complete ballpoint pen fell to the ground. I recognized it at a glance. This was the power of the lawyer. The doll also took the responsibility calmly. This power was taken from Brenya. Mei picked up the ballpoint pen and looked at the doll with a slight frown. "I don't understand, what does the hairsker of reason have to do with your proposal? You don't think that the structure can reshape our bodies, do you? The puppet stamped its feet. No. Did you listen to me carefully? The point is not the lawyer of reason. It is us who can take away your power. As long as you hold hands with me, exert a little force, and after a burst of lightning, your power will be mine. How's it going? Isn't it easy? You first give me the power of the hairsker of thunder, and then I will help you capture the power of the hairsker of the sky. This way, you can return to a normal life with her, and you won't have to worry about anything related to Honkai in the future. Yi raised her eyebrows slightly. She felt that this doll was so good at deceiving people. If she were a simple little girl who didn't understand the world, she might really be deceived. But alas, she's not. It sounds reasonable, but how can you guarantee that Kiana won't take back her power again? The puppet hurriedly shouted, take back the power? Impossible, impossible. How can an ordinary person who has lost his power win over us? Omi responded meaningfully, already having the answer in her heart. The doll looked at her expectantly. How about it? Think about it. Mei shook her head. According to your statement, you don't need my power to seize the power of the hairsker of sky, right? In that case, if you want her to turn back into an ordinary person, I will give you the power of the hairsker of thunder. The puppet was confused. It tilted its head and thought for a while. It seems right. Watching this scene, Ye Kamiko posted in the chat area, is this Raiden Mei? How come he is so much smarter than future generations? Thunder movie, son of God, what do you mean? Maiko Ye, I'm impressed by Raiden Mei's intelligence. Not only is she smart, but she is also powerful. She can also cook, yes. Thunder movie, why do you keep mentioning cooking? Ye Shenzi, I'm just feeling. Do you think I'm right? Wendy, the little fox is right. Zhongli, generally speaking, Mei Yi's cooking is definitely good. Thunder movie, hey. It's good to watch the exposure, why do you have to mention cooking? Zhongli, generally speaking, lawyers also need to eat. Thunder movie, it's time to slide, do you want to try the knife too? Zhongli decisively chose not to reply to the message and continued to watch the exposure. As a rock god, he knows when enough is enough. In the sky. The doll also reacted, but, only with the power of the hairsker of reason, maybe it can't be defeated. Mei Yi nodded, okay, I think so. The puppet was confused, what? Next moment. Han Feng unsheathed and Mei Yi got into a fighting stance. Sorry, I don't think Kiana will lose to you no matter what. So your proposal is of little value. The puppet sighed, hey, I thought you would understand faster if I was polite to you. But now it seems that I have to be more rough. The words fell. It summoned several synthetic monsters. Mei snorted coldly, without even using the power of the hairsker, and destroyed all these monsters in less than 3 seconds. Is this what you call rough? The puppet did not expect that the ultimate move he had prepared would be destroyed in an instant. Just about to speak. Boom. A bullet shattered its head. It's the raven coming. Oops, did I pull the trigger too fast? What did it want to say? Mei didn't care, it won't be anything valuable anyway. The surrounding scenery suddenly changed, and the two of them returned to reality. Mei Yi looked at the broken doll in the box and said to Raven, just now, the doll used the power of the hairsker of reason. Raven nodded, I saw it too, do you want to help you find out? Although the world snake cooperates with Tianming, sharing information to fight against the hairsker. However, anti-entropy has not cooperated with the two, and has even been in a hostile relationship. As a result, they do not know the news between anti-entropy and the thousand-men hairsker. Mei Yi lowered her head slightly and recalled what the doll had said. It seems to be inducing me to use the power of the hairsker. Could it be that they can bypass the core of the hairsker in some way to seize the ability? Raven wondered, can this be done? Mei said, according to its tone, it can indeed be done, but it should be accompanied by some conditions. Because I have been useless, and in the end, it failed to take away the power of the hairsker of thunder. I have a guess. Remember the rod of the underworld? Although their expressions are different, the two have something in common. Raven didn't understand at all, speak more plainly. Mei explained, they all comply with one basic rule, interfering with the connection between the hairsker core and the imaginary number space. Think of it this way, the hairsker core is the key, the switch of the faucet, and the energy flowing out of the faucet is the energy of the imaginary number space. The rod of the underworld uses some crude method to block the flow of water. The puppet is like a pipe, allowing water to flow into its own bucket. Chapter 44. Raven thought about it carefully. If you say so, it's true. Can you please go back with this doll? There is something I must confirm in person. After the Raven agreed, Mei left the warehouse directly, summoned Kurigara, and flew into the distance. Shenchang Pharmaceutical Headquarters. When Mei arrived here, she ignored the guard and walked straight into the headquarters. Along the way, all the members were looking at her. But no one dared to stop him. Bang! She pushed open the deepest door. What a rare visitor! What brought you here, Raiden Mei? Jackal saw that she did not answer. I guessed that there was something important to talk about. Victor, I want to talk to the guest alone. The man in the suit nodded and left the room, closing the door tightly to ensure that no one could eavesdrop. Jackal then looked at Mei Yi again. Shhh, don't say it yet, let me guess. Have you finally figured it out and decided to accept my physical examination? It's the right decision for you, me, and the whole world. The whole world is like this. Think about it, a hairsker who is completely dominated by human consciousness. You are very different from those unfledged chicks. Mei interrupted her, I'm not here to listen to your nonsense. Jackal still said in the same tone, it's really sad, and I really mean it. Bang! Mei took out 3 gold-rimmed cubic containers and threw them on the table. The fire in the ancient city of Benevento, the Kraken incident in Valencia, and the winged man in Cairo. They are all special individuals recorded in the world snake. You are very interested in them. That's right. Jackal replied, these guys behave abnormally and refuse to interact with other dolls. They always act alone. Their thoughts are mixed with impurities, which may come from the host or other influences. After all, there are 1,000 people selected to become hairskers of domination. It's normal to have a few weird cases among them, isn't it? Hear the words of the jackal. Sumeru. Nazada, who had been paying attention to the whole exposure from beginning to end, had a flash of inspiration in her mind. A guess jumped out at me. She immediately posted in the chat area, according to Jackal, hairsker of knowledge is one of these special individuals with abnormal behavior? After all, she is too special. Wendy, no wonder Kevin was so indifferent when facing the law of knowledge. It turns out that the world snake has known about special individuals for a long time and has started research. Zhongli, so, this is the reason why Jackal has always wanted to study Mei Yi. Paimon, it's true. I was curious before about why Jackal was obsessed with Mei. Nisida, it's just, I haven't figured out the meaning of special individuals yet. Dadalia, there is one thing that I am also very concerned about. It is too abnormal for Honkai's consciousness to be unable to control the hairsker. Even if we are fools, as long as the queen gives an order, we will obey it to the death. Nazada, there are indeed many doubts. We can only wait for further exposure. She looked at the exposure in the sky again. In the screen. Mei said, they are yours now. The jackal looked at the glistening core in the container. Then he looked at Mei Yi, it's not free, right? Mei replied, 3 special individuals, in exchange for your research results on 1,000 hairskers. Jackal hesitated. She pondered over the pros and cons. Mei Yi continued to press, this is a deal, accept it or reject it, give me an answer. Jackal smiled, with such an attractive offer, I certainly have no reason to refuse. She gently turned the globe on the table, and the cabinet behind them moved away. Follow me. Jackal said as he led the way. I think you already know that the 1,000 hairskers' ability is to dominate, seize, and control the power of other hairsker cores. There are many of them individually. Although each one is very weak, they can form an organization and hide in the dark to cooperate with each other and wait for opportunities. Mei recalled the relevant information she learned in World Snake. The 10th hairsker in the pre-civilization era did not have this kind of dominating power. Jackal said, obviously, there was no hairsker like you standing on the opposite side of Honkai at that time. They seem to be born to fight against you, using the hairskers as prey, seizing and sealing their power, turning them into their own use, and growing continuously. But something doesn't make sense. Mei said, if seizing the hairskers' power is their goal, then the world snake should be the first target. After all, besides me, The world snake also keeps 3. It is not impossible for the core of the hairsker to penetrate into the organization with the puppet's abilities. But the 1000 hairsker didn't do that. Instead, when I unexpectedly entered the domination theater, he called me an unexpected guest and never approached me again after that. It doesn't make sense. After hearing what she said, Jackal politely praised, a reasonable deduction. May didn't want to waste time, there's no need for polite words. Jackal didn't waste much time. First of all, to answer the question about the hairsker core, it's just my guess for the time being, the hairsker of dominance robs the power of the core, not the core itself. So in their minds, the core held by the container has a higher value. Mei Yi understood, is it because the power of the separated core is limited? That's right. The jackal glanced at her approvingly, although it is not completely unusable, if someone can bear the compensation, they will naturally welcome it. Mei became even more confused. Since they wanted to let others bear the cost when they wanted to use their power, wouldn't it be more appropriate for him? When I took the initiative to enter the domination theater, the 1000 hairskers never had any intention of attacking me. They only made some rather passive attempts. It was so negative. When I thought about it afterwards, I felt that it was actually using an overly obvious inducement to make me wary and avoid using the hairskers' power. 2. Cover up a certain fact. Hear this. Jackal said directly, they can't take away the power of the hairsker of thunder. This is the answer you want? Really? Mei Yi confirmed her guess. Jackal continued, the process of the hairsker of dominance seizing power is essentially just a competition between strength and power. The strong survive and the weak are destroyed, and the losers are brought under their control. But if the object they exert their power on has greater power, the seizure will be resisted and turn into a wrestling match. If the hairsker of dominance fails to win this duel. Chapter 45. Mei looked at Jackal, waiting for the answer. Under her gaze, Jackal shrugged, I don't know what will happen, but their actions have already hinted at the answer. The power of the individual dolls is too weak, and they are too weak to bear such risks. They know very well that although those half-baked hairskers can't do it, you, who are fully awakened, have the possibility to defeat them. At least for now, they are afraid of you. After listening to her analysis, Mei also said bluntly, this is also the reason why I came to you. I can feel that the domination theater still exists in some unknown corner. There is an unknown real-time information exchange between the dolls, helping they share senses, intelligence, and captured power. 1000 hairskers are like being connected by invisible threads, weaving into a huge network, connecting all individuals in the theater of dominance. In this case, we should be able to use this network in turn to proactively visit their theaters. Jackal was also shocked by her bold idea. He smiled and said, Thunder and lightning Mei, maybe we will get along very well. As the elevator stopped, the research base beneath the pharmaceutical headquarters also appeared in front of Mei. Go in. Mei walked into the base and glanced around, this is. What you want is a device that reversely connects to the 1000 hairsker network. Long before the 1000 hairskers appeared, Jackal had already asked Grey Snake to collect dolls to develop this device. Rather than explaining it, it's easier to understand by seeing it in person. Jackal took out a dim crystal from the sealed cabinet, which was the same as what Mei Yi brought. Stand further away. As soon as she reminded her, she thought that the relationship between the two was not that good, and immediately changed her tone, oh, I'm sorry, it can't hurt you. As he spoke, he skillfully manipulated the experimental device. Raven mentioned in the mission report that you were dragged into the domination theater after coming into contact with the toy-like doll, right? Mei nodded, yes, and after we left the domination theater, the doll was damaged. Jackal explained very professionally, contact, this behavior is like a certain signal. In this case, as long as the form of contact is slightly processed, and then the signal is transmitted through the recycled core, we can control the theater from the outside. Door. With that she pressed the final button. With a crack sound, the air seemed to be burning, slightly distorted. See it? Mei Yi nodded, it seems like a line flashed past. Jackal pointed to the puppet core in the cube, that is a space crack, but it is still very weak and the duration is short. That's why I need more cores like this. As I said before, these special individuals behave strangely and are on the fringes of the group. I'm afraid other dolls will regard them as aliens. Because of this, they are more suitable for doing tricks without being noticed. Of course, this is only one of the reasons this moment. Mei Yi also completely understood the purpose of the jackal. He looked at the 3 cores he had just brought and asked, with these 3 cores, is it enough? Jackal replied, give me 2 days to make sure everything is safe. Too long. Mei shook her head. Jackal explained patiently, you may not have the idea, but there are too many things we have to do. Locking the size, location, and duration of the opening of the crack all require patience and cannot be accomplished overnight. I can only take it 1 day. Jackal looked at Mei Yi, who had his arms crossed and had the attitude of a powerful and arrogant party. Did you listen to me? Hey. The 2 said almost in unison. Then they looked at each other again. Thunder and lightning Mei, do you feel that this core is smaller than when you first gave it to me? Just when Jackal opened his mouth to speak, the core crystal in the cube container shrank visibly to the naked eye. Both of them reacted. Core. Disappearing. Mei reacted faster than Jackal, snatched the box from her hand, and placed it on the experimental table. Start the device, now. Are you crazy? Now is the worst time. It's also the only chance. Mei Yi quickly copied Jackal's operation on the console, and the space cracks appeared again. Sorry, I watched you operate it once, and I wrote it down by the way. Thank you for your assistance, Dr. Cleo. Drop this sentence. She turned into a bolt of thunder and rushed into the crack. Hello. Jackal looked at Mei Yi, who had completely disappeared, and said worriedly, your body is a precious experimental material. Don't get hurt. You must come back intact. Well. She sighed, it's true that he has a quiet face but is so radical in his actions. Or are all the hairists of this generation like this? The world has changed. Teyvat continent. Ye Kamiko discovered something fun again. He immediately posted in the chat area, she has the face of a married woman, but she can't cook. The world has changed. Wendy, my name is Morux, but I am penniless. The world has changed. Zhongli. Thunder movie. Both of them chose to ignore them, but also decided to teach them a lesson once the exposure was over. In the exposure screen, Mei Yi has entered the domination theater. As soon as I entered, I heard the angry voices of the dolls. Uninvited guest. Uninvited guest. Go away. Go away. You are not welcome here. Mei said coldly, I know, I came because you didn't welcome me. The puppet shouted angrily, you are not qualified to enter the domination theater. We still have to entertain other guests, don't hinder us. Although World Snake and Counter Entropy do not exchange information or share intelligence. But what the doll said. Mei Yi could guess that it was probably the anti-entropy people who were attacked by the 1,000 hair skurs. I'm just here to hinder you. Are you afraid of me in such a hurry to drive me away? Hear her provocation. The puppet was also anxious, afraid? Ha 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 ha. Who would be afraid of a little girl who is ignorant of the world? She has no independent opinion, follows the lead and only relies on others. Be careful, we take away your hairskir power and use it as a toy. Mei Yi raised her right hand and clenched her fist. Okay, if you can do it, then do it. Chapter 46. Ah! The doll was so angry that he used his ability to summon several Honkai Juo and attacked Mei. Mei snorted contemptuously. The long knife in his hand instantly sent out a slash. Honkai Iman fell to the ground without any room for resistance. You are so annoying. You keep pestering me and stalking me. Seeing that the doll was about to be PD to death, Mei chose to help her and kill her with one knife. Then continue to go deeper into the theater. The closer you get to the theater, the more monsters there are, and puppets are constantly appearing. Rather than dealing with her, it's more like delaying time. Judging from your expression, you must have noticed it. You feel something is wrong. You really want to know who it is, don't you? But we won't tell you. Unless you keep the power of the hairskir. In this way, we can have a historic meeting with the power of her 2 best friends. Ha 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 ha. Listening to the chirping words of these dolls, Mei suddenly reacted, Kiana. The puppet pretended to be distressed and said, oh, I spilled the beans, I spilled the beans. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're late, it's too late. She has been pushed onto the stage, and you can only sit in the audience and watch, and you can't do anything. After all, that is the person you care about the most, or in other words, you care about her so much that you lose yourself, ha ha ha. She is the only one in your life. Without her, you are nothing. But what's the use? In the end, she was still in crisis. What did you protect? I foolishly walked on the road paved by others and gave up everything, but only bought a few weeks for her. It's better not to leave. If you hadn't left in the first place, you might still be able to die with her now. Ha 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 ha. Great, great, isn't this exactly what you hoped for? Mei Yi looked at the group of dolls around her indifferently. Listening to them exuding malice one after another, saying what they thought were the most vicious words. Then he said calmly, is this the greatest degree of malice on your part? It's nothing more than that. What? All the dolls were stunned. Mei Yi continued, I think you have made one mistake from beginning to end. To this day, without me by her side, she can still stand up strong, without her by her side, I can still walk on without confusion. Because I know exactly what choices she will make, she also knows very well what my inner decision is. All of this will never change because of distance and position. Parting ways is just about using different ways to change the imperfect status quo in the direction we want. Our journeys will eventually intersect. What I have to do is to welcome that day with the best attitude. The puppets all stamp their feet angrily. Each assumes a different pose. What beautiful words! That's not what you said to her at that time. Mei Yi did not deny it, indeed, we said goodbye too hastily. Looking back, there may be a better way to handle it. But no matter what, I will still take that step. Otherwise, I will not be able to stand here and witness your ending. After all, you still know too little about Kiana and everyone in Hyperion, and you also know nothing about me. Violent power overflowed from her body. Crush all the nearest dolls. All the puppets were so frightened that they all froze and even began to doubt their lives. This guy is completely different from what was said in the previous intelligence. Did he get the wrong person? Mei snorted coldly and killed several puppets in an instant with the long knife in his hand. It's just that your news is too late. Or are you so scared that you don't even dare to sneak into the world snake to find out the news? Silence, deathly silence. The puppet, who was originally chattering like crazy, fell strangely silent after hearing this question. Mei knows very well. I was right. World Snake has Kevin around, and these puppets don't dare to go in to inquire about information. This also leads to their understanding of the World Snake and themselves being too superficial. This will be an opportunity. She quickly slaughtered all the dolls around her. Continue deeper into the theater. Another doll appeared. But they all cleverly avoided the topic they just arrived, and instead asked, since you said you don't need to be around her, why do you still go to her? Mei said calmly, obviously, you have something to do with her, and I'm here to hinder you. A hole. Wouldn't you feel ashamed to bully weak hairskers like us? No. Yi blurted out. The doll's voice almost collapsed, you actually admitted it shamelessly. Another doll decisively comforted, forget it, forget it. Fortunately, the wisdom of thousands of people can always find a way out in desperate situations. For the common goal, sacrifice is always inevitable, and all of us have this awareness. This is how we do it. They use their power together to separate themselves and Mei's platform from the theater of domination. Now, no matter how powerful you are, you can't get to her. Ha ha ha, just drift back to reality like this. Yi frowned, just use some tricks. Thank you for the compliment. The doll also bowed to her very politely. Boom. The sound of thunder exploded. Mei Yi directly entered the complete state of hairsker, then, you should also wake up and pay the corresponding price. The doll was extremely excited, oh, she's angry, she's angry, she's anxious. Mei said no more. Directly using all the strength of the hairsker of thunder, the hairsker's power poured out without mercy. The entire platform was shrouded in red thunder. All the puppets on the platform let out shrill screams, but what was even weirder was that, unlike before, they were not killed by the thunder. Ahem, you, what did you do? The dolls noticed something strange. Although he was not killed, all the power in his body escaped, even his own control power was disordered. Mei Yi crossed her arms and looked at them calmly, it's nothing, I just defeated you in a power showdown. Chapter 47. What? The puppets looked at each other, none of them understood. Mei Yi looked at them and said, why, you only know how to avoid me, but you don't know why you are avoiding me? Humph, it seems you don't know where your weaknesses are. The dolls were in no mood to listen to her. Everyone is doubting life, the power of the hairsker of thunder, how could it be unable to take away work? Do you want to know why? All the dolls looked at Mei. It's simple, you are too weak. Such contemptuous words made the puppets furious, and they could only vent their emotions by shouting damn it. I was still finishing the attack. Your control is, in the final analysis, just robbery. If you encounter a force stronger than yours, you will not only be injured, but even the power of control itself will be disrupted. Are you ready? It was just a test. Which one is stronger, your domination or my conquest? Next, it's time to get real. Mei Yi raised her right hand, and the power of thunder gathered in her hand. Mei. Kiana's voice suddenly appeared. The thunderbolt in Mei Yi's hand was stagnated. Mei Yi doesn't have to fight anymore. I'll take you back to Saint Freya. Everyone is waiting for you. We will go back to the past together and never be separated again. This is exactly what the hairsker of dominance is using, the power of the hairsker of consciousness to interfere with Mei. I don't need to go back to the past. She doesn't need it either. The thunder in his hand turned into a long sword, condensing all the power of the hairsker, and slashed out with one strike. All the puppets in the theater fell down, and the objects they constructed also disappeared. Haha. After all, the stolen power is nothing more than this. The mouth of the puppet lying on the ground was still opening and closing. Chi, what, after using up all your strength like this, won't you become weak? How can you fight like this? Ha, ha ha. I see you are like this, you will be kicked out of this theater soon. Then, you will never be able to come in again. Just wait, we will kill all your companions. Click. Mei crushed the doll's head with her foot. Haha, you won't understand. I've told you before. Kiana and the others will never lose to you no matter what. And the answer I want has been found. As the last doll died, Mei was also kicked out of the domination theater, just like what she had experienced with Raven at that time. Thunder Mei Yi. Jackal saw her coming out and hurriedly helped her up. Are you okay? Mei Yi shook her head. It's okay, your guess is right, 1,000 hairskers cannot seize power more powerful than them. She was a little anxious now. Kiana and the others are still fighting against the 1,000 hairskers. She wants to help, but there is no other way. Jackal had a rough idea of what she was thinking. After you entered the Dominion Theatre, I received news that Anti-Entropy fought against 1,000 hairskers. There are specific results. I will tell you. Before that, you can lie down on the test bench next to me and let me study you. Body of. No. I decisively refused. Go aside and rest, waiting for the latest news to come. Didn't wait too long. Diddy. The communication rang. Jackal connected to the communication and deliberately let out his voice. Kiana completed her emergence and successfully defeated the dominant hairsker. Hear the news. Mei Yi was also relieved. Jackal continued to ask, has the core of the hairsker been recovered? Has anyone died? She knew that this was the news that Mei Yi wanted to know. The other party responded in a calm tone, the whereabouts of the hairsker core are unknown. The person confirmed to be dead this time is, Wolyang Tajitsi. Ding! Mei Yi's heart seemed to skip a beat. The body that was already weak due to exhaustion of strength became even weaker, and there was no trace of blood on his face. Although I was mentally prepared when I confirmed with Kevin before. But, when the result was announced and completely confirmed, she still couldn't accept it. The scene changes. The time has come to the next day. Mei had visited Heimko's grave the night before. And now, she came to the familiar corridor. Walk deeper along the corridor. Kevin sat there as always, as if he had never left. What's the matter? Kevin looked at Mei Yi in front of him and took the initiative to speak. She has changed a lot since the last time we met. Kevin knew that she would come to him. Mei Yi said, the ruler of dominance has been eliminated. I know. Kevin's answer was still cold. Mei seemed completely unaware and continued, its core has disappeared and its whereabouts are unknown. Kevin did not answer this because he knew the whereabouts of the core. Mei continued, but that's not why I'm here today. Kevin looked at her, what do you want to ask? When I used the power of the hairsker to collide with the doll, my consciousness was brought to an indescribable space, which should be the source of the hairsker's power. I felt that there was a boundless consciousness covering that place. The consciousness seems to want to pour something directly into my brain. But this attempt was blocked by the excessive electromagnetic waves overflowing from my body. Mei Yi looked at the man on the throne. The man seemed to be thinking about something, or recalling something, but he didn't take any action. She had no choice but to say, if it's because my electromagnetic waves are too powerful, how can those special 1000 hairskers resist it? Is it really just because they were special during their lifetime? Kevin, this makes me confused. If that consciousness is the so-called collapsed god, is it really just because of this reason that it can't affect its own apostles? Kevin didn't expect her to ask such a question. I don't know when she understood it to this extent. You, who have been fighting since the last generation and are the last heroes of the previous civilization, cannot possibly know anything about this. Mei Yi looked directly into Kevin's eyes. How many secrets do you still have that you haven't told the humans of this generation? Kevin remained silent, thinking about something. I need an answer. Right now. Kevin looked at Mei Yi, who was so persistent and so similar to her, and made a decision. No problem. You have the qualifications now. What? Me, I was confused. What about qualifications again? What exactly is this qualification? Before she could ask, Kevin raised his hand and pointed in a direction. It was a lightless corridor that snaked out from behind the throne. The end of the darkness was connected to the beginning of the world. Qualification to seek answers. Chapter 48. Mei knows that place. It is the biggest secret of the world snake. Raven also said that it was the place where cotters received baptism and completed their transformation. Go ahead and seek the answers you want to know. Mei Yi knew this man, and since he had already spoken, he would not say another word. She could only follow the direction he pointed and move deeper into the corridor. She didn't know how long she had been walking. From just now, the surroundings were dark, as if the corridor was extending infinitely, into another space. Then, she came to the front of a golden hall. In front of the golden hall shrouded in darkness, Mei Yi noticed a movement. Then a voice appeared, Kevin, Kevin. You really love causing trouble for others. As the sound spreads, the surrounding darkness seemed to be dispersed instantly. Mei Yi looked instantly and saw a girl with pink hair as beautiful as a fairy, just like Kevin, sitting on a stone throne, welcoming her arrival. Mei Yi may not know her. But the moment she appeared, the entire Teyvat continent was boiling. The first one to scream was Ye Shenzi. She pulled Lin Hao and said in surprise, she is still alive? What do you mean? Let Mei, who looks like Mei, go see her? Do you want to use 2 boats or something? Lin Hao sighed, I reminded you not to pay too much attention to her. Although I warned him, this guy didn't seem to listen at all. Instead, he paid extra attention. Ye Shenzi said slyly, what? Are there any intimate behaviors later? Are you afraid that I will be jealous? You can rest assured, let alone your previous life, even if you and Cage get together in my Narukami Taisha shrine, I won't be jealous. Lin Hao didn't know that this little fox had read too many light novels. Or was it just a joke? But I didn't mean that, I just wanted to remind you. No. Ye Kamiko didn't care at all, pointing to the chat area and said, look, her appearance has attracted a lot of people's attention. Everyone is discussing whether she is my previous life or Sakura is my previous life. After all, lay movies are all when you come out, you have to be with me, right? Lin Hao glanced at the chat area. Really? These people are just too idle. One by one, they kept sending messages, making jokes, and teasing others. Wendy, yeah, Kevin's secret is actually related to this woman. It seems that Lord Lin Hao cares about the little fox very much. Paimon, ah? What about Thor? Kamizato Ayaka, hey? Our Lord Inajima and the Shogun are competing for a man. Thunder movie. Nazada, I have been concerned about this woman since she appeared. She is not a good person at first glance. Zhongli, it's really too pure, and one can't help but wonder if it's malicious. Ye Shenzi, just now Lin Hao asked me not to pay too much attention to this woman. I think there is something wrong. Wendy, it's very problematic. She must have a very important importance in the heart of the Lord Lin Hao. Paimon, Thor, you have to be careful, maybe Lin Hao prefers women with pink hair. Thunder movie, I don't care. Funina, so what is the answer? We still need to test our qualifications like this. Nazada, it's really strange. How is this qualification determined? Even I don't understand. Zhongli, since we have started searching, I think the answer will be available soon. We might as well wait. Zhongli just finished speaking. You can see the exposure of the sky changing. The perspective instantly returned from Mei Yi to Kevin. This made him hesitate a little, thinking about whether to withdraw what he just said, but he found that he couldn't withdraw at all. I had to pretend nothing happened. Keep looking at exposure. In that dark hall, Kevin watched Mei disappear into the dark corridor. As for himself, he turned his back to the corridor and left the hall. At the same time, he gave the grey snake an order, come with me to destiny. Yes, Lord, I will prepare now. When he arrived on the ground of the base, Grey Snake was already ready and had contacted Otto. Outside one of Tianming's experimental bases, the two of them looked as if they had just met each other for the first time. Isolate the world and sit opposite each other in this golden light. Oh, the great world snake leader. Kevin. Otto, I just want to liven up the atmosphere. The cooperation between Tianming and World Snake should be very, harmonious. I really can't figure out why you came to me, my old friend. Kevin didn't want to say much, but directly took out the Void Manzo. I'll hand him back to you. Otto looked at the Void Manzo. His brows could not help but furrow. Compared with the last time they met, Kevin was obviously not here to negotiate. He couldn't even understand the other party's intentions for a moment. Generally, at this time, you should choose silence and let the other party continue to play their cards. Sure enough, as he expected, Kevin spoke, I know that you took away the core of the Hersker of domination, and I also know your purpose. You will need it. Otto suddenly felt that Kevin's arrival this time did not seem to have any purpose. Indeed. He didn't reject Kevin. In some ways, the two did have some similarities. After taking the Void Manzo, he smiled, then I will also give you some help. This is a deal, isn't it? Return to the experimental site. Otto once again devoted himself to the experiment of connecting the tree of imaginary numbers. The next experiment, to put it in the most optimistic language, there may even be a chance for us to throw off all kinds of shackles and directly establish an equal connection with the tree of imaginary numbers. If this is true, then humanity will be able to win a complete victory without a fight in this long-lasting battle with Honkai. After listening to his statement, Yolandel said, but you also said that this is only the most optimistic situation. That's right. Otto nodded. From a scientific research point of view, it is difficult for a groundbreaking experiment to be successful at the first time, and the future is even more unpredictable. But as long as we can get some positive results out of an adventure like this, I think at least you'll be a lot more emboldened the next time you face Kevin. Yolandel understood instantly, are you referring to the World Snake's ultimate goal, the Stigmata Project? Chapter 49. Of course. Otto said, the scary thing about the Stigma Project is that it can indeed redefine the rules of how the world operates. If the other side has the ability to create their utopia, but we can't, then sooner or later the world will become what they expect. Since none of us like the cold future imposed by previous civilizations, we must also master a method that can create utopia. Yolandel thought deeply and said, in other words, if the world bubble in my body can be safely linked to the tree of imaginary numbers in today's experiment, then in the future, we may have the capital to reject the stigmata. Plan. Yes. Otto nodded and said, you should know that among the various ideas for fighting the Honkai impact, there is actually no plan that can be truly realized. In our hands, there is actually none. Hello. The long light on the side interrupted him, Mr. Otto. Shouldn't today be the day when Miss Hollander is about to gloriously complete a mission? Why did you bring the topic to such a heavy place? Please stop, enough is enough. Yolandel actually showed a smile, but, those are indeed facts, and there is nothing to avoid. Chang Guang said quickly, but, after all, the matter has not yet reached the moment when a choice must be made. There is no need for you to make a choice today. Thank you for caring about me, Miss Chang Guang. However, the tasks given to S-Class Valkyrie have always been about success and not failure, right? This kind of tightrope walking lifestyle, at least I am quite used to it. Otto was very happy to see Yolandel accepting it calmly, ha 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 ha. Very good, very energetic. You are worthy of our destiny to be the strongest Valkyrie, Yolandel, your innocent heart has not lasted a day. Changed. Otto's appearance made Yolandel particularly uncomfortable. Bishop, please stop using your disgusting words in moderation. Your mood today is really a bit suspicious. Otto waved his hand and turned around, haha. If I, a person who is frivolous and casual by nature, are asked to continue talking, it will inevitably continue to be irrelevant. Chong Guang, next it will be up to you to explain the technical details of the specific experiment, and your bishop will first give your mouth a rest. Zhenjun Liu Yunjifeng, these two men are really interesting. What my little teacher said is indeed right. Wendy, this becomes your family. Paimon, this woman. She actually treats the hairsker as her own child. Nazada, strange. This Voidmanzo Kevin has never been used before, so how could it be used as a bargaining chip in previous negotiations? Wendy, it seems you don't understand it at all. Kevin, he knew Otto's purpose from the beginning, and he just wanted to help him while ensuring his own plan, right? Nisida, hey? Why? What is Otto's plan? Xiaogong, probably because of love. Kamizato Ayaka, is it love? Wendy, okay, what does the little girl want to do? Look, that woman is out. Saw this news. Everyone looked to the sky. The perspective suddenly came to Mei Yi again. I would be shy if I was stared at like this. He was obviously sitting in a similar posture to Kevin, but he gave people a completely different feeling. Mei stared at her for a long time, and didn't look away until she spoke. Okay, come with me. Alicia stood up from the throne and walked towards the Golden Hall as if she was specially waiting for her. Mei also followed her into the Golden Hall. After a period of dizziness, everything in front of him changed. What he could see was a rather strange building. Rubbles and ruins spiral up around the tower, intertwining into a bird-like network, as if declaring themselves to be the center of the world. What the hell is that? Mei Yi was thinking in her heart. A sound that I was not used to hearing sounded without warning, like someone whispering in my ear, or like a shout coming from afar, as unpredictable as this scenery. How does it feel? Facing this soft whisper, Mei Yi just asked curiously, what a wonderful sight. Is this a building from the first civilization era? What is it used for? How about it? It must be very avant-garde to you, right? But in my time, this was just an ordinary house, and you could see it everywhere on the roadside. This sense of dislocation between times is also one of the joys of exploring the paradise of the past. Just look forward to it before encountering more incredible sights. Alicia looked a little happy, or in other words, she had been very happy since seeing Mei. Okay, it's time for you to try it for the first time. Don't have any psychological burden. I will always be by your side. Try? Mei Yi was very confused and immediately asked, what is my goal? To defeat someone, or to find something? Alicia replied, there is no goal. This is just an attempt. No one will blame you for failure. No hairsker has ever set foot here, and I have never mentored a hairsker. For you and me, this is, what should I say, first experience. Anyway, just follow your heart and explore to your heart's content. I'm also looking forward to seeing how deep you can go, without the help of other heroes. I roughly understand the situation. Raven also said that this is the place where codders receive baptism and complete their transformation. Maybe, this is a kind of baptism? Compared to this, there is one thing that Mei is more concerned about. Now there is another most critical question, who are you? Alicia looked surprised, are you kidding? I just introduced myself a few minutes ago. Really, are you teasing me on purpose? How could you do this to a girl you just met? You obviously have a cute face, but your mind is unexpectedly naughty? Mei Yi is also confused. But looking at the other person's expression, it didn't look like he was lying at all. Could it be that she introduced him when he was dizzy before entering? It's not just Mei who's weird. Now, people throughout the Teyvat continent were confused. This is not the first time she has appeared, it has aroused everyone's discussion in Kevin's memories. So I also know her name. But Nasida, did I remember it wrong? Did she introduce herself? Paimon, I've been watching and haven't stolen anything. Why don't you remember introducing yourself? Wendy, but, such a cute girl doesn't seem like she can lie. Nazada, maybe I remembered it wrong. Maiko Ye, no, you must have remembered correctly. I don't remember her introducing herself either. Zhongli, I haven't heard her say that either. Nazada, bad woman. Paimon, bad woman, in the screen. Mei Yi did not continue to ask any more questions. I'm fine. Okay. Alicia's expression became more serious, it's not too late, let's go now? I will give you my blessing, and your soul will bloom with more dazzling brilliance. Thunder May's past adventure in paradise begins now. As her voice fell, May felt a strange power pouring into her body. Just as Alicia said, this should be the power of her Ying-ji. The surrounding buildings also began to distort and change, gradually transforming into a more realistic scene. It's even hard to tell whether this is reality or fiction. May stepped into the road ahead. The mecha from the pre-civilization era attacked her, as if it was a test of strength. However, this trial was too simple for her. Destroyed all the mechas easily. Walking forward again, except for the changes in the surrounding scenery, everything seemed to be back to where it started, like a huge maze. Unimaginable. There is such a secret buried beneath the world snake. Kevin, he stood here and saw the end of the world, and now he's showing it to me without any reservations. It's devastating and it allows me to know more about him, about the snake. Mei Yi's thoughts couldn't help but start to wander, and she quickly passed through one passage after another. I want to urgently understand everything here, and I want to know the answers to this world. Alicia on the side noticed that Mei was mentally exhausted. I decided to take her back to reality first. As the light flashed, I was already inside the golden building. I'm here, Alicia's voice came from behind. I looked along the sound and found that she was sitting on the sofa over there at some point. Well. Mei Yi suddenly felt dizzy. Yeah, you don't look good. It doesn't matter. It's always like this in the beginning, and you'll get used to it gradually. Alicia motioned her to sit aside. Relax, let's take it step by step. Do you remember where this is? Mei Yi covered her head and recalled all the previous events, which also relieved her headache a lot. Do you feel better now? Well enough. After a little rest, she did feel much better. Alicia asked again, then, do you still remember who I am? I was silent. This part seems to be missing from the memory of the recollection just now. Who is she? Alicia asked with concern. What's wrong? You suddenly became silent. Is it because you haven't recovered yet? Or have you forgotten? She showed a disappointed look. Oh, I thought you would remember people's names well, I'm a little sad. Chapter 50. Upon hearing Alicia's words, Paimon stamped his feet anxiously. Pointing at the screen in the sky, he shouted to her, Ying. I'm so angry. This woman is so bad. She obviously never said it. She really never said her name. Why did she do it? Like I did something wrong. Ying Gang wanted to comfort her. She held her chest and said, the key is, I actually felt guilty, I felt I shouldn't have treated her like this, but she really never said that. DB. Ying held his forehead with his hand and shook his head helplessly. This poor, simple Paimon was already being manipulated. Paimon. She didn't say it to you, she said it to Mei Yi. Yes. Paimon reacted fiercely. Send it directly in the comment area, at why did you forget her name? Thunder Movie, that's not me, no. I don't know. Nazada, could it be, that I really didn't hear it? Paimon, looking at her, she must have said it, she looks so sad. What else did Paimon want to say? A familiar voice came down from the sky, I'm kidding. Really, I always think you are so boring. It was Alicia's voice. Okay, let me introduce myself again. Please remember it carefully this time. If you forget it again, I will feel a little emotional. Paimon was stunned. Alicia stared at the sky for a while. She screamed angrily, she lied to me, she actually lied to me like this, woo woo woo. I'm so angry. Bad woman, I will call her a bad woman from now on. After saying that, she vented in the chat area and decided to call her a bad woman from now on. The others also smiled when they saw Paimon like this. After all, not everyone is as innocent as her. In the sky. The exposure continues. My name is Alicia. As you can see, I am a beautiful girl who lives up to her name. In Muse common language, Alicia means paradise and paradise. My friends also call me Ai Li. You can also use this title and say very cute, to me. As for his identity. In your words, he should be a fusion warrior from the pre-civilization era, right? He was also the former companion of the hero Kevin. Of course, the real Alicia would not waste her youth thousands of meters underground. I am just a clone she left behind, a memory that inherited her character and experience. But it doesn't matter. You can still see me, talk to me, and even have some physical intimacy. The paradise of the past is originally a world of memory, so it is not unreasonable for me to appear in my memory. This is what is commonly known as, a negative makes a positive. May listened to her self-introduction. Instead, he fell into deeper silence. When she came to this paradise, Alicia appeared without warning and welcomed her arrival. Frankly speaking, I have been in World Snake for so long and have seen so many things that I have never seen before, and my memory has become accustomed to them. B. The presence of Alicia in front of her still made her feel concerned, or rather, confused. She had asked Kevin for answers. And this was the answer he gave. Those histories covered by dust are the secrets that the World Snake has been hiding. What exactly is the so-called answer? Mei Yi still can't figure it out. I remember. She responded. He immediately changed the subject. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, it would be hard for me to believe that there is such a huge space under the base. It seems like an ancient building that existed here at the beginning of the world. His eyes also fell on the huge device in the center of the hall. But this device is so well preserved that one can't help but suspect that World Snake established its base here just to preserve its existence. Alicia spread her hands. Well, it's useless for you to ask me. I'm afraid only the person who asked you to come here knows the real reason. Mei stood up. Come to this device. I'm almost recovered, let's face what happened just now. The paradise of the past, if I guessed correctly, its name represents that glorious civilization, and what I saw is the memory of that era. It feels like exploring a library after an earthquake. It's immersive but disorganized. Different fragments are put together and it's difficult to form a concrete picture. If this is the answer Kevin said, it is too unintuitive. Alicia immediately became curious. What did Kevin say to you? Mei imitated Kevin's tone. Now you are qualified to seek answers. It is precisely because of Kevin's words that I appear here. But he still has something to hide. Rather than a place to seek answers, this is more like a place for trials. Alicia was silent for a moment. The joyful tone before was also a little less, as if there was a little more emotion. Said, you are really sharp. See, this is why Kevin cherishes words like gold. He knows that you can always discover the truth easily. But he didn't lie either. The answer. Everyone comes for the answer. No matter what they want to seek, the paradise of the past can give the answer. Engrave the moments of the past and let people follow the footsteps of the Savior towards a more distant future. This is the meaning of its existence. All results can find their roots here. I felt helpless and puzzled. Isn't this process a bit inefficient? I knew you would say that. Alicia showed a sweet smile. It doesn't matter, they here will slowly change your mind. From the past memories, you will gain more questions about your journey is the most precious gift. Them. Mei accurately grasped the key points of Alicia's words. They are, the 13 heroes chasing fire. Mei continued to talk about what she knew. According to World Snake information, they are a group composed of former civilization fusion war workers. Alicia praised, not bad, at least you know about fusion warriors. As if unwilling to be underestimated, Mei continued, the fusion warrior is an important combat force of the fire chaser moth. It will be the super soldier created by the fusion of the qualified person and the Honkai. From Kevin's point of view, the power of the fusion warrior is even can rival the lawyer. Alicia looked at her with a strange look. It seems that you have done your homework well. You should be the kind of child who is very good at studying. And he is also very confident. In your eyes, Kevin is just like you, comparable level. Mentioning that Kevin, even Yi had to explain, I didn't mean that. A trace of cunning flashed in Alicia's eyes. Don't be afraid, you can say that even in front of him, I will be on your side. Mei chose to respond with silence. Alicia continued, since you already know this, then I think you must also know the ending of most of the fusion war pressure, right? Mei nodded. It refers to the incident where a large number of fusion warriors were sacrificed in the battle with the 11th Hairsker. Regarding that disaster, World Snake only left very vague records. A lot of sacrifice. Alicia was a little surprised, and then sighed with emotion. The records are really conservative. It seems that Kevin doesn't want to recall that day anymore. The 13 heroes chasing fire refers to the only 13 people who survived the disaster. Fusion warrior. Seemingly plain words. But it shocked Mei Yi's heart. At the same time, it also reminded the people of Teyvat continent of Kevin's memories. The battle with the 11th Hairsker was mentioned when chatting with Fu Hua. Some people had previously wondered why Kevin, who often fell into memories, did not recall the battle of the 11th Hairsker. Now the answer is revealed. Because, even Kevin doesn't want to recall that day again. That was a day that he couldn't bear either. Zhongli, I seem to understand that this incident in the paradise of the past seems to have nothing to do with Kevin, but it is all about things that are closely related to him, and they are all things that he does not want to remember, right? Wendy, damn it, you guessed it right this time. The battle between humans and the Hairsker was too brutal. Lu Yunji Feng Zhenjun, if the Law Master is like Xiao Shi, God Lord Lin Hao must have been very happy in his previous life, right? Nazada, speaking of which, why would a Hairsker like Xiaoshi appear? It was obvious that the battles in the previous civilization were so brutal. Zhongli, just wait for the exposure. I think, everything about Kevin will be answered in the exposure then. Alicia told Mei Yi about other things in the paradise of the past. Mei Yi also understood the basic things about the paradise of past times. I have a general understanding of the situation. Well, as long as you understand, I explained it well, why don't you praise me? Mei Yi chose to ignore her. Alicia sighed alone, hey, Kevin should really change his habit. Everyone is confused when they come in. Maybe you can give me some advice and let him be a new person. Guidance document or something like that. Mei continued to ignore her words. Alicia's character made her a little overwhelmed and she didn't know how to deal with it. I could only look at the device in front of me and speculate carefully, the paradise of past, a space made of memories. Is this why it looks so strange? Alicia also came close to her, in that case, let's go back and see what it is that arouses your curiosity. Don't worry, I will accompany you too. Under her guidance, Mei Yi came to that wonderful space again. Everything around him is still the same as when he came in just now. Alicia handed her a seal. This is... Mei looked at the engraving lying on her palm and could feel the strange power pouring into her body. She had experienced it before. Alicia said, have you heard this saying? Choices under pressure can reveal a person's true self and will also determine what kind of person he will eventually become. In my life so far, I have made choices again and again. They are like segmented nodes, forever engraved in my dazzling life and shining brightly. This is my seal, the carving of Alicia's soul, the proof of why I am who I am. If you want to go further in history, following the footsteps I left is also an option. After all, I can be regarded as a person who has witnessed the beginning of this era. But having said that, showing your true self to others will inevitably make people a little shy. Mei Yi looked at the side and held her face while trying hard. Alicia looks shy. She said in a cold tone, if I remember correctly, you said that there are memories left by 13 fusion warriors here. In this case, I can also witness what others have done. Choose. That way you don't have to be shy, right? Alicia looked at her pitifully, Mei, the way you comfort a girl is to make her sadder. I really couldn't resist her, I'm just repeating what you said before. Alicia did not continue to tease her, well, just like what I said, in order to point out the way to the end for the successors, my most important companions will also use their own time to show the way to the end. The seal remains in the promised land. Other people's engravings. Then Kevin's is also. With curiosity, Mei Yi asked her, don't you tell me about other people? Rather than listening to my introduction, isn't it better to see it with your own eyes? Don't worry, we are all very lovely people, you have to have a good relationship with them. This is not difficult for you, right? Alicia, who was still heartbroken just now, suddenly returned to her lively appearance. Even Yi couldn't help but say, your reminder is not like what a sad person would say. Alicia explained, because I found that my worries just now were completely unnecessary. You will know later, and you may have to miss me. Mei Yi, who was exposed, didn't say anything. Paimon shouted to the sky, I am willing to give up. I am very willing to give up, you bad woman. Rice wife. Narukami Taisha Shrine. Ye Shenza looked at Alicia with a smile. He said to Lin Hao, sure enough, this girl is as cute as me. She must be my previous life. She is so cute. Lin Hao shook his head helplessly, didn't I say that? You can't pay too much attention to her. Why? Ye Shenza didn't understand, is it because she will sacrifice? I know this. After all, she is a pre-civilized person, and she is already a memory. She must have died in the past. Don't worry. I won't be sad about it. Have been with him for a long time. She could feel Lin Hao's care and concern when he said this. This was the only warmth she could feel from this ice cube. Hearing this, Lin Hao said nothing more. But, it's so nostalgic. In the sky screen, Mei Yi has started exploring again. She wanted to seek answers as soon as possible. After killing a bunch of monsters, she finally came to the front of the road, where she saw a sparkling inscription. He stretched out his hand and touched it roughly, and a familiar voice appeared. First meeting, successor, my name is Hua, the seal of Fu Sheng. I will help you get familiar with it. Monitor. Mei Yi almost blurted it out. Hua in front of her looked at her with confusion. Mei Yi shook her head. It's nothing, I should have known it earlier. Thank you for your help. We should meet again, right? Hua replied, at least you have to persist until that moment. This place is far more dangerous than you think, and you must not take it lightly. After she taught Mei how to use the seal, she left here alone and disappeared deep into the passage. Alicia immediately came over and said, how about it, compared to other people's engravings? Before he finished speaking, he secretly glanced in the direction Hua left. No, I haven't gone far yet. I have to keep my voice down. She deliberately lowered her voice. Compared with other people's engravings, do you think mine is better? You don't have to follow me all the time. Mei distanced herself from her and continued to explore forward. Just reached the road ahead. She saw a man who made her whole body shiver. It's you, you're here too. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. The man was very speechless. I know that I am the one who brought you here, but I don't want to explain it to everyone again. I am Kevin, a warrior who bears the title of Salvation. Salvation. Yi's heart was shaken. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you're notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.